gamers, it's time for Trash Taste!
It's time for Trash Taste!
God, that's like hurts my ears.
Wake up, gamers! It's time for Trash Taste. I am your host for today, Garnt, and with me are a bunch of sleepy boys.
I just get reminded of the Honey Wake Up new Trash Taste episode.
I love that.
Was that energy?
But yeah, I'm your host for today, and with me is Connor and Joey.
What up?
And
Wow,
you know
you
what?
seem so just disinterested in.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we've been
the
around
boys.
for what 90
We're the
something
boys.
episodes
He's
now.
like I don't fucking know who's.
It's like, it's 90. It's
fucking
episode
Australian
90
boys,
something. You know who we are.
Wake me up when they become the men. Then I'll be woke. Then I'll be woke.
I don't know if you know my username, but
I'm growing it back. I'm growing it back.
I think I'd argue I'm the only man in here.
I think we are. Since we all shaved at all the same time, I wonder like who's growing. Who's going to grow back the fastest now?
I think we're all kind of growing at the same rate.
Yeah.
You got black. You got a black beard. Right, that doesn't count.
You got a black what?
You got a black beard.
You got a black beard. Why does that matter?
Because that means
My
it
favorite
looks-
One Piece character.
badass pirate, by the way.
Yeah.
Really lacking in creativity with this pirate's name. But and obviously, you're.
Wait till I tell you about Whitebeard.
Yeah. You'll never believe what he looks like.
Yeah, finish your sentence, Connor.
Black is darker than brown.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
What a hot take.
Thank you.
Thus,
Can we fact
stands
check that?
out-
Can someone fact check
it
that?
stands
I'm kidding.
out more.
It stands out more.
Yeah.
Well, let's get the ruler out. Let's get the ruler out if you wanna if you wanna go.
We're
there.
going down to the millimeter.
Does your face feel heavier with black hairs?
What with blackhead?
I know black paint is heavier than white paint.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Is it actually?
Yeah. It is
That
true.
sounds
Google
like it could be true, but that also sounds like it could be
Why do
completely.
So are you
bullshit.
saying? So are you saying that a head of black hair is heavier
believe
than
it-
any other color of hair?
Well, on that scale where your hair is not of a significant weight in general,
Right.
I think it's very minimal. But
Okay.
let's say I learned this because I was looking at weird ways that planes save costs,
Yeah.
which actually ties in nicely to our topic later: travel.
Yes. Travel.
So if you're traveling,
Yes.
the reason why you don't see black planes,
Oh, because they're heavier.
it's heavier.
Oh, I thought it would have cost a lot to paint the damn thing.
Well, no, they paint it white.
Oh, right.
I would have thought they painted it white because of
The
reflection.
heat. Yeah,
There's that-
or
there's
like,
that
or
too.
maybe
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the heat that
There's
it like
that too,
takes in,
but it's
right?
also
Yeah.
twice as heavy.
Twice as heavy.
I believe black paint is twice as heavy as white paint.
Damn.
Okay. I didn't know that. Well,
White hair is thicker than black hair, so I don't know if that factors into it.
that's
I
just
don't know if paint-
that's just like black hair nerfing itself.
Because apparently-
obviously,
because
like
I-
that's like nature doing a balance patch,
I
right?
think it's something to do with the pigments.
We couldn't be too OP, yeah.
That's the weirdest balance patch I've ever heard. White hair is thicker than black hair because black hair is heavier than white hair.
God's like, shave off a few pounds.
yeah.
We gotta level the playing field right now.
I got it wrong. White paint contains higher solid content than black paint, so white paint is actually heavier.
Solid content.
No.
No.
No, referring to airplanes.
Referring to airplanes.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
So wait, so white paint is heavier than black paint? is
Yeah,
what you're
because they
saying.
require more pigment in order to achieve the same level of saturation.
So then,
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
why do we not have black planes?
Yeah, this is considered to. This is.
I think it's not that deep. I think it's purely just because it reflects more of the sun and it doesn't turn the plane into a fucking oven.
We're sounding like fucking flat earthers right now. yeah. White paint's clearly heavier. Okay, yeah. This is the reasoning behind it.
Is that what a flat earther uses? Like, but have you seen a black plane before? How do you know? We've clearly never been around the world.
It's the same amount of like pseudoscience we're saying right now. I feel like none of us are even close to scientists, and we could you could logically make an argument for both. I feel,
Yeah.
and come out on top. But
Yeah.
we don't. If even the fact checkers.
I mean,
can't,
to be fair,
Oh, yeah.
it would make sense if the planes were black because, then it'd be easier to spot in the sky, right?
This is
no, it would be harder to spot in the nighttime, right? Because it would be like completely invisible then.
But it's completely invisible anyway.
This is so confusing.
You can't see a
When
bright white plane in the
that's
night.
When I googled does black paint weigh more than white paint, Google said white paint weighs more, but then I got another article that says black paint weighs more.
So bottom line, we don't fucking know.
So bottom line, nobody knows.
No one
Google
knows.
won't agree.
We cannot even, scientists can't even agree with each other if black or white is heavier than each other.
Have you ever been in a plane that wasn't painted white?
I
been in
believe I have.
The ugliest plane I've ever been on. It was like a shade of like I was with you.
EasyJet isn't that.
It was like a shade of like highlighter orange.
EasyJet
Oh,
isn't
that is fucking disgusting.
It's not that
Yeah,
ugly.
it's a gross color.
I know
Yeah.
they paint it so that they don't have to like keep like fixing the impurities on the chrome or whatever.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, because it's cheaper to just paint it again than it is to.
I just thought it was like a branding thing.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's like, well, we have to paint it to save costs.
Yeah.
May as well brand it a little bit.
Yeah.
But is it heavier than white or black paint?
It's probably heavier, but maybe the branding is like worth it.
It's probably
right? The
lighter, right?
marketing.
Because it's EasyJet, so it's got to be cheaper,
They got-
right?
they gotta save the fuel somehow,
Surely. Yeah, I don't know. That is, yeah. I guess now that I think about it, I think that's the only plane I've been on that's like completely different color from white. I've never really thought.
I've been on the Pikachu plane.
I was gonna say aside from the
That's the
Pikachu
ANA
plane.
one, right?
Yeah, the A&A yellow
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nippon
I thought I was going to be
Airways.
more excited getting on that plane, but then I realized I can't
can't
see
see
it
it.
from the
You can't see it.
inside,
You
so
can't
it's like,
see it.
oh, it just looks like a plane.
This is what it feels like to get a sick skin in a first-person game. It's like, dude, what a badass skin that I can't see.
yeah, that I can't see.
yeah.
What an amazing skin.
Like, what's the point? What's the point? I never got that. Why do people care about skins in first-person games?
So you can flex it on other people.
It's-
right?
Yeah,
you
to flex
see
on other
you
people.
see your arms, and that's pretty much it. Right?
Yeah.
It's to show dominance amongst your fellow players.
Yeah.
To make them know if you have the samurai armor and Halo, you have an absolute massive cock.
Yeah, I obviously have not played enough first-person games, but we're not talking about games today
What are we talking about?
because I thought it'd be fun to actually do a themed episode. It's been a while since we've done a themed episode, right?
And the music episode was the last
This is
one.
the
I played.
most scuffed themed episode, by the way.
Why
We
is
haven't
it-
written anything down. We're just like winging it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we don't have to.
Okay. By themed episode, we have a topic that I hope we're gonna stick to. I'm not
we're
gonna
gonna start
I'm not
talking
gonna
about-
guarantee that we're gonna stick to
I
the
guarantee we'll talk about Among Us in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Something's
probably,
gonna happen.
probably.
yeah.
But I feel like now that we're getting ready to travel, and now that it seems like the country is slowly opening back up. I mean, at the time of recording, Japan have finally let in, work visas and student visas after 2 years? Is it?
Like 2.5.
2 years,
almost.
and who knows what the situation is going to be like now when this episode actually is released. Maybe the country will be open, and maybe a bunch of you are going to be traveling to Japan for tourism and stuff like
They're
that.
not going to open it. They're
Well,
not.
the best case scenario is that before the year ends, people start coming.
So
in, yeah.
hopefully this episode will come in handy when you do eventually come to Japan.
Yeah.
But I mean,
So,
it's
like-
probably going to be a while though.
Yeah, I don't know.
just-
lots of time to plan out your route.
Well,
Yeah.
like many people have pointed out, Japan unfortunately has an extremely older population,
Yep.
and old people don't really leave Japan, and a lot of them have never left Japan. Never even gone out of the country.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people, I think it's like 80 or something, 90% of people agree with the travel ban.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas other countries, like Europe, UK, it's like, well, I've got to have a holiday in Benidorm. My cousin's who lives in
Well,
Poland.
of course,
or
people in
something,
UK
right,
want
right.
the country to be open because otherwise they'd be stuck in the UK.
Yeah, exactly.
And where the fuck is there to go on a holiday in the UK?
Exactly.
Butlins?
Yeah, Yeah, which is it's just why it sucks because obviously a lot of people from America, Europe don't really understand why Japan isn't opening up, and it's like, well, you need to kind of understand the general.
Well, it's also because
consensus.
Japan puts probably the most amount of effort into their domestic tourism.
Well,
Yeah,
that
so-
ties into the whole elderly population. People,
Yeah,
people don't
elderly
realize,
people are like, I want to travel, but I don't want to get on a plane.
right.
Yeah.
I know, I'll get on a bullet train and go
Right.
somewhere
Exactly,
completely
exactly.
different.
Yeah.
Even though it's
But let's just be
man.
optimistic.
Okay,
for
fine.
once, guys.
I'll stop
For
being
once,
pessimistic
for
for
once,
once
that's
in my
a lot
life.
of guns. Let's just be optimistic and let's be like, you know what? Maybe the old people will change their minds and be like, you know what? You know what? Tourism good, right?
Pretty sure
Tourism
every
good.
single war has started because the old people haven't changed their mind.
Pretty much. So let's say Japan is open and you are planning a trip to Japan and you've heard us talk about a fuck ton of things in about close to 100 episodes now. So you don't know where to look because we've been talking about Japan for 100 episodes, so you don't really know even where to start.
Or
because-
maybe we've set a location place and you're like, what or who is that?
yeah.
You know?
So we thought it'd be fun to just have an episode where it's just collectively what we actually recommend or don't recommend about Japan if you're going to plan our trip, use this episode as like a placeholder just to listen to it and be like, oh, that sounds interesting.
And if the place sucks, you can blame us.
pretty much.
I obviously it depends on how long you're going for. That's the big
Yes.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know,
Okay.
we're talking like 5 days. All right,
Yeah.
maybe you can still go out of Tokyo.
Yeah.
But 5 days, you can very easily just stay in Tokyo and have
Yeah.
a great
I
time.
mean, the first 2 times I came to Japan, I never left
Yeah.
Tokyo.
Yeah, exactly.
Mainly
exactly.
because I was scared. And
of the old people.
Well,
they were gonna beat me. No, I mean, you know, using the Shinkansens and stuff is kind of intimidating.
It is
If you've
daunting, yeah.
If no one has ever like helped you do it.
Yeah.
No, it's intimidating because obviously in Tokyo there's a safety net because a lot of things in Tokyo are built with the idea that there's going to be people from abroad coming to visit, right? So a lot of
that too.
places have English menus still. It's way more friendly and open. Whereas if you go outside of Tokyo, you want to go eat and you're just like, okay, this restaurant probably doesn't have English on it.
Dark Souls level difficulty incoming.
It's like this 70-year-old shop owner has probably never seen a foreigner in her life.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and it is daunting, even nowadays for us, even though we're well traveled, sometimes I can do it, but like sometimes I have to like psych myself up.
I'm
to be like-
Japanese and I get intimidated.
yeah,
Because they look at me and they're like, you're not Japanese. And I'm just like, oh God, what do I do?
I don't know when it happened. I just stopped giving a fuck about being awful at Japanese like a few months ago.
Yeah,
So
you-
now I just talk. And then
you
I
get over it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I do good, but I always get what I need.
yeah,
So whether or not I'm doing it right or not, I get my tonkatsu.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, like just pretend. Okay, POV,
Right.
POV. You've just landed and you're on a trip with the boys. We're gonna show you around. We're gonna show you around. It's your first time to Japan.
Life hack number 1.
Okay.
Fly to Haneda. Don't
Yes.
fucking fly to Narita.
Yes,
Don't.
actually, that is
That's like
that is step number one.
Top three locations in Japan that suck ass. Narita Airport.
Which I mean, it might not be. It might not be like. You might not be able to avoid it depending on which airline you fly with. Like
Yes.
if you're, because I know like a lot of the major airlines, like I think like Emirates and all those,
Yeah.
all go to Narita.
Yeah.
NRT. You want to go to HND if you can.
Yeah.
Because you have to get a train.
For one, Narita's
Oh.
not in Tokyo.
Yeah, Narita
Yeah.
is in Chiba, right?
Yeah.
It's like in the middle of fucking
it's
nowhere.
further away from Chiba, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's-
Also, to get into Tokyo will cost you like $50.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, it
40
depends.
bucks,
If you
50
go on
bucks.
the Narita Express, which is like the most famous like bullet train-esque thing from Narita Airport, it's so expensive.
It's actually like $80.
Yeah.
If you go
What?
on the
But there's a
Narita
Skyliner
Express.
as well, which you can get.
Yes.
But like, I didn't know about that the first time I came to Narita.
because they don't advertise
They don't advertise
They only
it.
advertise
Yeah.
the Narita Express
Yeah,
because
which
it's
is half-
convenient.
yeah, it's because like the Narita Express is the big kind of
Goes to Shinjuku, right?
yeah, it goes to
Yeah,
Shinjuku,
yeah.
right?
Okay.
But it's the big one that's advertised about how to get into Tokyo, and like a one-way ticket there, using the Narita Express costs about I think $80 to $100.
Yeah, fuck that. So that's like $200
Yeah,
if you go
and
to Narita.
the
that you're
first
adding
few
on.
times I went to Japan, I did not know that there were other choices that you could make. So if you have to fly to Narita, we highly recommend the Skyline,
Yeah, Skyliner.
which is cheaper than the Narita
It's
Express.
cheaper and it stops at more places.
Basically, when you get off your plane at Narita, you're done. Go to the trains, and there'll be like a bunch of ticket things, but there'll be one specific office that says Skyliner.
Yeah.
You can't miss it. They speak English as well, so go there
Yeah.
and ask them.
and you
It's
pay
about
like
$40.
Yeah,
I
you
think.
pay like half the price. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great.
And it's just as fast.
It's got a vending machine on
it's
the
actually
train.
just as fast, which is
Yeah.
why I'm just like, why is the Narita Express twice as
I
expensive?
don't
Because
know.
they can get that money though.
Yeah.
But yeah, go to Haneda. Haneda's super easy. You're basically in where are you near in Haneda?
Near like Odaiba.
Yeah,
yeah.
Tokyo Teleport.
So you're actually
that kind of stuff.
one, you're in Tokyo. Two, you can take the subway.
Dude, the fucking
You can take the monorail.
Dude,
Yeah,
the
you take-
monorail has a sick view, dude.
Yeah.
Take
the
the
monorail
monorail.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Or you can just get a cab if you're lazy.
You can get a cab, train, or monorail, but
Yeah.
the most aesthetic one is definitely the
A
monorail.
lot of the cabs have the English-speaking computer thing in it.
Oh really?
Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
used it. I just shouted at them. I'm like, go here. Yeah, this I've never seen them. Maybe I should test it. Just see how it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
give it a go.
Yeah, so like we said, first step, if you can fly to Haneda, we highly recommend you fly to Haneda because you're gonna have you're gonna have like a way better experience. It's gonna be less stressful getting
It's
out
just
of Narita.
genuinely as well.
and
Just
also,
a really nice airport.
yeah, it's a really nice airport. You get better views,
Yeah.
and it's also cheaper. So that's basically every reason you could possibly think of to fly to a certain airport over another, if you have a choice.
It's normally more expensive to go there, but the cost of like the train tickets and transportation
Yeah.
might
make up for it.
Make
Yeah,
up for
yeah.
it, or even
Yeah,
save some
exactly.
money.
So it offsets the cost.
It's like
bet.
Gatwick and Heathrow
Yeah.
in London. Gatwick's a joke. Gatwick's basically in Brighton. What's the fucking point of that airport?
It's great for me.
It's annoying as fuck. It's literally not in London.
What's the other airport that you guys?
Heathrow.
No, there's one more, right?
Oh no, Luton. No, don't.
No,
fucking-
no,
Yeah.
no.
Don't get a Luton.
Then we go to then we got like Stansted and all that
Oh,
shit. And
dude,
I don't even
no.
count those as like fucking airports. Okay.
Those getting to Stansted and stuff like that is more difficult than get it like the journey like to France.
Yeah.
Right,
I know.
right.
Yeah.
Awful,
it's
awful.
ridiculous.
But we're talking about Japan. Right
Talking about Japan. Yeah. We're
So
talking about
POV,
Japan.
you've just landed in your airport. Where are you going to stay? Where would you recommend staying? What's the best area? do you
In
think?
Tokyo.
Upper Hotel.
All right.
Okay.
no one ever.
I mean,
Okay.
you've got a lot of options, right? Like
Yeah.
Appa Hotel is literally the same price.
Don't do Upper Hotel.
But all right. Yes, you might have to deal with racist books in your hotel room, which
No, no,
sucks.
it's-
but it's like the same price as like a capsule hotel.
It's a closet.
Because it is
yeah.
a capsule hotel.
Yeah, I mean, you get a bed though.
I would highly
The window. Can't
recommend
open it.
Airbnbs. Airbnbs
I don't
is
know, I
is my best experience in terms of accommodation staying in Tokyo.
Which
In Tokyo?
which might be difficult though because of the recent like Airbnb
you get
law.
some
They got rid of like
weird,
80% of the
dude.
Airbnbs.
Even after, because I have stayed in Airbnbs since they've got rid of a lot of Airbnbs,
Yeah.
and they are still like 10 times better than most hotels in Tokyo. And the reason is because most hotels in Tokyo are just business hotels,
Yeah.
right? They come with the assumption that you're just gonna stay, like the guys staying there aren't even gonna be in the hotel at all.
yeah, unless
right?
you're staying at like a Hilton. Like everything
Yeah.
else is just like
Yeah, everything else
closet.
is just a closet or a shoebox.
I don't know. I think there's some decent ones. I think I've stayed in. I don't know
Yeah.
where though. They're pretty
For a
reasonably
decent
priced.
price?
Yeah, reasonably priced.
I'm sure there is, but
I think you have to look. You do.
yeah,
You do have to look, but I feel like with Airbnbs, there's just you.
Tokyo is absolutely saturated with hotels. There's
Yeah.
a lot of hotels. So
Yeah.
like you,
because they nerfed all the Airbnbs.
you can definitely find a good hotel if that's what you want. Because I get it. Sometimes you don't want to deal with an Airbnb because sometimes it's kind of a weird experience. You have to sometimes
Really?
you
I don't
sometimes
think
sometimes
so.
you get the key in a really weird way, and then sometimes you're in an apartment building and you get stared at and stuff, and then also you're like
You gotta
I-
go to the neighbor's house,
Yeah.
knock
Sometimes you're-
3 times.
and sometimes you're like, you don't really understand how the locks work and stuff. You're like, I get it. A hotel sometimes
Yeah.
is just like, boom, card in. There's services. They can do your laundry and stuff. I get it.
I just
get it.
feel
it's
like
up to you. It feels
yeah,
like
it's
how
up to you. But like to me,
are
like
you a Garnt or a Connor? Or
Connor
Joey just lives
Connor
here.
just likes to be pampered all the time.
No,
He just wants everything done for him.
When I'm
You know.
on a vacay, little vacation, little getaway. I wanna worry less about things. I want to safe in my room.
Yeah, but you're also probably staying at a Hilton.
I am not staying at a Hilton. That's like a one night thing if I'm lucky. I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah,
the wallet. Oof.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a waste staying in a luxury hotel for like more than one day because like you want to do shit like. You know what I mean? Like you want to go outside. Like just get a hotel with enough room where you can be comfortable eating a cup noodle in it if you want.
Okay, let me sell you on the Airbnb.
All right, Garnt's going to
okay?
pitch it to you. I'll pitch a hotel to you.
Okay, because with Airbnbs, you have more amenities. You have a working fucking microwave or like one of those, like a lot of Airbnbs have one of those mini grills. So if you want to like go to Family Mart or 7-Eleven or Lawson's and buy the famous fried chicken that Connor and Chris have eaten a lot, but you don't want it cold, you can perfectly just grill
What
it
do
in
you
your
mean?
Airbnb.
It's warm.
It's
What?
warm when you buy it.
What do you mean? It's warm when you buy it.
How long are you carrying around this family
I
march?
don't know. I'm not okay. So like I remember.
Okay, I will say that probably the one country on earth you don't need a microwave is Japan.
Yeah.
There's literally one on every corner that you're allowed to use freely.
That is true. Actually,
I feel like
that
you
is
just
true.
realized that. God,
I love as well how that was. I love as well how that was your first
That was like a-
argument.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, they have a microwave.
They have a microwave.
Don't worry.
Okay, but no, like normally, like I found that you get more room in your Airbnb as well. You like
can.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
a lot of the times, the hotel rooms, it's just a shoebox where you don't have room to walk at all.
That is
with
true.
Airbnbs,
I've had both with Airbnb.
Yeah, with Airbnbs, you actually have walking space. Sometimes you have like a living space and like a bedroom space, which is good. Another thing is that a lot of Airbnbs I found in Japan, especially, they come with portable Wi-Fi. Right, so a lot of the times you don't want to faff around with getting data in Japan because it's such a hassle. But with so many Airbnbs, basically about 90% of Airbnbs I've stayed at, the owners are kind enough to provide you with a portable Wi-Fi, which not only works as the Wi-Fi in the Airbnb, but works as a portable Wi-Fi which you can take with you as you're traveling around Japan.
Although I will say that I think most, if not all, train stations in the Tokyo area have free Wi-Fi.
It's really fucking annoying to connect to it though. Actually.
Yeah.
But
also every McDonald's has a free Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
True. I mean, just honestly, just get it from the airport. There's like a bazillion of these
It
portable
is
Wi-Fi.
expensive as fuck though. Data here is
Yeah.
expensive as
Yeah,
fuck,
it is.
especially if you're a tourist.
You're gonna need it though, honestly. I
Yeah,
think,
you are going.
Maps, Google Maps is literally your best friend on that.
Yeah.
I still use it.
With the
though.
amount
Yeah.
of walking you're going to do, especially.
Yeah,
Everything,
but like
everything.
if you have like an international plan for data or something,
Oh, yeah,
I
true, yeah.
highly recommend that because buying data here, which is why I recommend Airbnbs if they give you portable Wi-Fi, buying data here as a tourist is really, really fucking expensive. It's like $70 for like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, there's
like
vending
that for 4
machines.
gigabytes.
Vending machines at the airport that do SIM cards.
Really?
That do data only SIM cards.
Yeah.
They are quite pricey, but you know it'll do what you need to do. Because I mean, Google
And you
Translate
can get
is
a
very
vending
good.
machine experience right off the bat.
Right? Yeah. You're like, oh my god, I've never bought a SIM in a vending machine.
It's like, oh my god, a vending machine that actually works.
Yeah. There's also you can just like type in portable Wi-Fi, whatever airport you're going to. There'll be ones you can get as well.
Yeah.
Well, one piece of advice for me that I want to tell people is get a Suica.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because that's going to be your best friend as well.
This is a Suica card, okay? This is the equivalent to an Oyster card, although I don't believe we use
Metro
Oyster cards
cards in
in
the
like
US.
Metro
Yeah.
cards. It's really easy because you can get one at basically any machine on the Metro or anything
Yep.
like that here.
It's like 500 yen.
Yeah, it's like 500 yen, and you can load it up immediately. Every machine has an English option and multiple other languages as well, so you don't need to worry about learning Japanese to buy a Suica card.
Oh, it's super easy, and
Yeah.
same with bullet trains.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also you can pay with it if you don't want to deal with cash. Load up a shit ton of money. Every single fast food chain and every single Conbini will accept it. Every
most
taxi driver.
vending machines as well, they
Yep.
accept
vending
it.
machines, trains,
Yeah.
taxis,
within
Yeah.
Tokyo. Yeah.
everything.
which
Yep.
is very, very useful because if you don't remember this, then you're going to be needing to bring cash. Do not expect to be able to pay by card anywhere. Just
Yeah.
some places do accept it, but don't expect to come into a place, even if it looks like a big establishment that should have a card machine. A lot of places don't accept cards or even credit cards.
To be fair, it is getting better
It is,
recently.
it
Like
is.
a lot more places now, especially like since when I first moved, I remember like half the places I went to didn't accept card
Mm-hmm.
at all. But like I feel nowadays like most places in central Tokyo accept card, but
Yeah.
also, it's the Suica is good because again, you can use it not just at a restaurant but literally anywhere.
Yeah.
So super handy.
Yeah, but also just carry cash with you always.
Yeah.
Because you're going to need it for something in Japan.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know what it is immediately, there's always going to be one little thing where this place doesn't accept anything but cash, or machine doesn't accept anything but cash. You're going to need it. So don't assume that we're like in Japan's like every other first world country where we have a cashless
Especially if you're
society.
going to like a mom and pop like shop, right? Like,
Yeah,
whereas,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
like the old like restaurants and stuff like that, they'll usually just be like, nope, cash only.
Yeah. And I know since you're watching Trash Taste, I'm guessing a lot of you are weebs, right? I'm guessing. Maybe.
Where
I
you
don't
going
know.
with this? Where you
I don't
going
know.
with this?
Huh?
Where are you going with this?
Would you? Okay.
Would you talking about Akihabara?
We've talked about how Akihabara is overrated, right? Or,
Yeah.
or how we think it is.
Yeah.
But I feel like it still is one of the best places to go if you just have like a day or two in Tokyo and you've never been
yeah.
to Japan before, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's nothing that really beats that first day Akihabara experience. Because yes, you can get figures for a better price online or other places.
Well, it's the magic. It's the magic of
yeah,
the first
it's
time.
the magic, right? It's like Disneyland, but for weebs.
Yeah, it's
You
the
know?
fact that literally every billboard and building you see around you is covered in anime.
Yeah.
Which is like not really a place you can experience anywhere
Yeah.
else in the world, or rather anywhere else in Japan for that
Yeah,
matter.
exactly.
It's kind of out of the way. It's a little annoying to get there, I'd say.
I mean, it's like what, like 15 minutes from Tokyo Station? It's not too
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, I'd say if you're going to stay anywhere, stay around Shinjuku, Shibuya, if you want a fun time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
say Shinjuku's probably has the most stuff nearby.
Yeah, if
like
you
you have
wanna
like
be
Ikebukuro,
immediate
you have
connection.
Shibuya,
Yeah,
all that kind
exactly.
of stuff. And then you have the Akihabara side of Tokyo,
Which
which
you can
has
get to quite easily.
Yeah.
which you can just cut straight across to. Has
Yeah.
like, Asakusa, Ueno, all that
And
kind
like
of stuff.
you can easily spend a day in Akihabara.
Oh,
of course,
easily.
like easily,
Oh,
and
Like every
two,
time I
three.
go to Akihabara, even today, I still
Yeah.
find new shit to do.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whether you
But-
like retro games, anime figures, classic stuff, like really old Transformer stuff, or
Yeah.
like any kind of otaku stuff, it's there.
Pretty
Maid
much.
cafes, boys,
If
boys,
you want-
boys,
don't
babe,
go
boys,
to a
babe.
maid cafe. Don't go to a maid
Why
cafe.
We should be helping them. Yes, go to a maid cafe.
Have you been to a maid cafe in Japan?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you don't want to.
But I can tell people to go.
We've gone
Maybe,
to like.
maybe I can get an affiliate.
There are okay. Here's the thing. There are way cooler themed bars in Japan and in Akihabara than Maid Cafe. You've been to a bunch, Connor, and like
so many.
Yeah, you've been to so many, and like you guys have made videos about it. Sydney's making videos about it as well. Like everyone wants to go to a maid cafe, but I feel like the maid cafe is like the most basic themed cafe you could possibly go to. When
It's an experience that I haven't had, but I'm okay not having it. Someone else can have it.
I've had the experience, and I have had a much funner time going to like the other themed bars.
Yeah.
Because with maid cafes,
Is it a bar? I feel like it's an afternoon thing.
It is an afternoon thing,
It's
but
not
it's
like
also
it's not like
it doesn't matter. It's just cringe.
But like it's
I
fun.
hated it.
I just want to see people go.
It's also
why do you want to see people go?
you want to see people suffer?
Yeah.
I want them to stay in business, right?
I don't know.
They're dying, right? They're dying at the moment. I want them to stay in business, but I don't want to be the one giving them business. It's a cultural icon of
It is a
Akihabara.
cultural icon, but I feel just
Give them your
It's
doki
time for
dokis.
change. It's
yeah,
time for
I feel
change.
with the amount of like other themed places in Japan, and Japan is very good at doing themed like bars and restaurants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just feel like maid cafes are kind of just becoming like old at this point. where
Yeah,
it's like,
because like
you
one,
know what to expect at a maid cafe,
yeah,
but you don't know what to
exactly.
expect at like I don't know, like a lockout, or any of those like really cool, kind of hidden underground like bars and cafes. Right?
What's lockout?
Yeah,
A lockout is this prison themed restaurant that I've been to a few times.
Where is it?
There's a couple. There is one in Shinjuku, I believe.
Oh, I think I
Where you
wait.
basically go underground through a haunted house, and then you end up and you eat inside of a cage.
Is this
and
where
then-
they scream half the time?
Yeah, and then
I think
there's
I
like a
went there.
monster show.
I think I went there and I
that.
thought the food was like the worst food I've ever had in my life.
No, the maid cafe food was a million times.
no,
worse
like
than that.
I feel like the maid cafe food. I don't know why. It's just 100% of the time it's horrible food. I mean, it's
Yeah.
on par with like
It's an
themed.
omni rice.
Huh?
We're
It's
only
an omni-rice.
we only think it's good food because a cute girl made it.
No, I don't even
dude,
think it's
that's
a
a-
cute.
No, but most people feel that way. It's
see,
like,
I-
well, the cute girl made it, so it must be good.
See, and everything's overpriced as well.
Yeah.
It's everything's overpriced, and
it's like $20 for the most mid omurice I've ever had.
Yeah,
in my
yeah,
life.
right.
Like,
right.
you know, you get a good omni rice though. I mean, if you want like a brand one,
Yeah.
Royal Host, they do a good.
Dude,
omni.
Royal
Royal
Host
Host.
is
They
lit.
do such a
Royal
good
Host
omni.
is
Royal Host
There's,
is
there's
fucking
one in
great.
Akihabara. This is like the Denny's like deluxe. Like,
Yeah.
it's like so fancy and the prices are like ridiculous.
This is what I feel Denny's wished it was.
like going to Japan and just going to a maid cafe with all the themed bars that are or cafes that are available is like going to America for a burger joint and going to McDonald's or some shit like that. That's
Valid.
like you have
White Castle. I'm there.
You have so much choice of so many different themes and different unique concepts, and then you go to a maid cafe where they do the moe beam on your food and call it a fucking day.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you for $50.
Yeah. And if there's a lot more places than you can go to a maid cafe. Also, I want to fucking die when I go to a maid cafe.
Just go to a maid cafe at your local con. It's probably the same experience.
It actually is. It actually is.
It's honestly the same
Oh,
experience.
It's honestly the same
Except
experience.
the only difference is that the one in Japan, you probably won't understand what they're saying half the time.
Exactly.
That's the only difference.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
You'll
like,
understand when you go to a maid cafe.
I don't want to go.
It's
I
shit.
don't want to go. I'm far too British to like sit there.
I want to see you at a maid cafe.
you and Chris in a maid cafe.
You and Chris in a maid cafe would be the best.
I can't. That's too much cringe for me.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm more attuned to like the anime culture and stuff, and I'm just like I can't handle.
No,
maid
I
cafes
couldn't
at
handle
all. It's I think I'd rather be seen at a strip club or something like that.
I would.
Yeah.
I would.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
As
exactly.
opposed to that, I feel like that's less normal.
Yeah.
More normal. Sorry.
Yeah, more normal. But yeah, I mean, like, obviously, get Akihabara out of your system because you're gonna want to go to Akihabara. And
Yeah.
you are going to have a good time. Yeah, and if you're looking for places to go, then just look at our figure special.
Yeah.
That's we basically curated our figure special to the places that we like to shop in Akihabara. Are there any other shops you would recommend in Akihabara that they go to?
Oh god, there's so many. Why me?
I like
Super Potato is really good. That's the retro game place.
That's like
what's the Dojin store?
Oh, Toranamo?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
well, there's Toranamo and there's Melon Books, which are two different ones. Both are good.
Yeah, that's
Melon
like,
Books, I think, has like 4 entire floors of just doujin stuff. So if you like that, then go for it. But Toranomon has a better selection, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. And that one has like 7 floors or something.
That is like 7 or 8 floors. Yeah.
That has like
and there's
7
2
or 8
buildings
floors.
as well.
Yeah,
There's 2
yeah,
different
exactly.
ones.
Yeah, because like a lot of Akihabara is you go into a store and it looks like it's just a 1-story store because it's like a fucking tiny, right? It's full of stuff, and then you go in and then you realize they have stairs, and then you go up the stairs and you realize there's another set of stairs, and you realize that it just keeps going up and up and up and up. So a lot of
Suddenly you're in a mob.
And
basically.
also like the best thing I think about Akihabara, especially when you go into like the really like small building, unmarked buildings, is that each of the floors is usually a different store entirely. So you could be in a figure store at one point, you go up the stairs, and then suddenly you're in an idol shop, and then next moment you're in a retro game shop.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
Next moment you're in a tech shop, and it's
Exactly.
all in one building, and it's great.
Yeah, that's why you can literally spend like hours just in one random building that you stumbled into. And of course, like the arcades there as well, because if you want to go to Japan, I highly, like, you have to go to the arcades.
Of course.
Go to the Sega ones because they have the fucking mech pilot game, dude. That shit is hard.
What's that one called? I can't remember, but
Maybe don't go to the other ones in Akihabara though, because like most of them are gone now.
yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
that's
That's true.
All the Sega buildings are gone.
Yeah.
There's a
Rip.
ton of Sega buildings outside of Akihabara.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That have like good games, but the ones in Akihabara have a lot of like vintage games.
Yes.
They have Typing of the Dead still. They still got that.
Yeah, they have an entire building that just has like an entire floor full of like old school
got
80s arcades.
Crazy Taxi. It's
Yeah.
got a few other games. It's got Time Crisis 2 or 3. I can't remember which one it
You
was.
can play a game on the arcade for like 50 yen, I think.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It's like really
like
good.
most arcade games are just 100 yen, which is $1.
Takeden or Baba. There's the old retro game.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
one we went to,
yeah.
That
Yeah.
one was dope as fuck.
Which is also right next to Shinjuku, so
Yeah.
easy to get to.
Yep.
I can't remember what it's called. Just type in arcade place Takeden or Baba.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, like I still think like my favorite arcade game is the Mecha Pilot game. So there is.
sick,
Have we talked
dude.
about it on
We've
Trash Taste
mentioned it
before?
before, but again, I think we don't know the name.
Yeah.
It's literally like a hydraulic mech.
You'll
in this arcade.
you'll see it because you literally are piloting a mech, right?
You'll
so,
see people like fucking tilting and fucking.
Yeah.
It's sick.
So it's kind of like reminds me of these old school like rides you'd see in malls or something where it's like you're put into like a capsule and you're like it's like a roller coaster and like the capsule like tilts along with like the roller
It's
coaster.
like
that-
4D.
Yeah, like 4D that you're seeing. So imagine that, except you control the roller coaster. Okay, so when you pilot this mech, it'll tilt with tilt and curve. When you accelerate, you feel like the acceleration and everything.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah,
it's
it's real.
if you're a mecha fan or even if you're not, it literally is the closest you will ever come to piloting a giant robot.
and it's PvP.
And it's PvP as well.
You literally
And
play
it's
against other
also
people.
like 100 yen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
for
like
it's like 5 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's Battle Royale. But if you are going to go to the arcade, you probably should look at like a tutorial about how to get like the cards
Oh,
and everything like
yeah.
that because
So you
some
can
of
save your
them,
progress.
some of the games, they will not let you go past the tutorial stage if you don't have a card.
Sure,
Like
sure.
basically you pay the money.
Every rhythm game.
Yeah, basically every rhythm game, like if you don't have a card, you're basically just stuck at the tutorial level.
There should be a card printer in the building if it's a big arcade.
Yeah.
If it's a
most
good-
of the bigger ones have it.
So if you don't have a card, just go to a big one, and there should be a machine that prints cards. And they all have. There's like 3 different ones though. So you need to figure out
Yeah.
which one's which. It's
Yeah.
really confusing. I'm sure there's a guide online.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Also, if you're having trouble what the fuck is being said on screen, I just hold up Google Translate to the screen, and genuinely it works. So
Yeah.
just do it.
Actually, that is a good
Google
good life
Translate
hack.
is it's not perfect, but it will give you the gist of everything.
Yeah.
It will be your best friend.
Basically,
you should use it.
Yeah, Google Translate. I didn't know this until I moved to Japan, where Google Translate has a camera option where it will live translate things that you put through the camera of Google Translate. It's been a lifesaver for me in a lot of places here in Japan.
Is this hand sanitizer or water? Let me
Yeah,
find out.
exactly. And if you're ever in a restaurant where it's all in Japanese, then Google Translate camera will be your best friend.
Unless it's handwritten and you're fucked.
Unless it's
Yeah.
handwritten.
GG.
And then you
Then
just
just
gotta
peek blindly.
and then you just gotta hope that you're with Joey and he'll translate everything for you.
I just say also sume. I ask for their recommendations and I'm like rolling the dice. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
please, for the love of God, give me something good. When I can't.
Usually it's good.
Usually
Normally it's good.
Normally it's good.
One time they gave me chicken carpaccio. That was interesting.
Oh wow.
Raw chicken.
Raw chicken.
Raw
That
chicken.
Was, that was hard.
Chicken
stomach.
sashimi.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was. I was like, damn, what a great recommendation.
Can't wait to get salmonella.
Yeah.
Oh.
This episode is sponsored by Athletic Greens. You know, it's the year of 2022, and I've put on a lot of weight, as many of you have pointed out in the comments section. So this year I really wanted to look after my weight and general health, and one product that has definitely helped me with that personally is Athletic Greens. AG1 by Athletic Greens is an essentialist nutrition company that has created a movement around simplifying your health routine. It's not just for athletes, it's for busy mums, dads, rookies, first timers, and everyone in between. Yes, even anime YouTubers, would you believe it? Athletic Greens contains 75 vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens in one convenient daily serving. This special blend of ingredients helps your body's nutritional needs and supports gut health, immunity, energy, recovery, focus, and aging. And taking Athletic Greens every day is super simple. You just take 1 scoop of the powder, 8 ounces of water, once per day. And that's it. So if you would like to get your body back into shape like I am trying to do this year, then make sure to go check out Athletic Greens down in the description below. But thank you to Athletic Greens for sponsoring this episode. Back to the show.
But I mean, if you're into Weeb stuff, it's not all Akihabara. Of course, that's like the big mainstream place. But,
I personally recommend for Weeb stuff that's not Akihabara, Nakano.
Nakano Broadway.
Nakano
I was going to
Broadway.
say, because I feel like with Akihabara, you get overwhelmed. So maybe that's what you want. Maybe you want to be overwhelmed with Weeb stuff. But the problem with Akihabara is that it's very, very much aligned with, let's say Weeb culture, as opposed to, you know, more other underground anime culture, which you can find more cool stuff in Akihabara, I'd say. No, more cool stuff in Nakano Broadway, because the way I describe Akihabara is, it's just like, imagine if you're on the convention floor, right? That's basically Akihabara, where you're in the dealer's hall. That's Akihabara. Nakano Broadway is more like the artist alley, where you can get more of like the more stuff that's
There's
not
a few
like
shops around there.
Like
that
the
are
unconventional stuff.
The unconventional
right?
stuff, right?
Like in Nakano Broadway, you know, there's a store on the first floor where they just sell nothing but old anime cells.
yeah.
That place is really dope. And then there's other ones
Exactly.
that are like from like 40s and 50s Japan styled stuff and everything. Huge manga store there.
If you like retro games and you want GameCube games or something that's really cheap, there's a place called Book Off.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Book Off sells a lot of retro
Secondhand
games.
stuff.
Yeah, and
I mean, that's-
there's so many, dude. I saw like Super Mario Sunshine in box for like 600 yen.
Yeah.
So like $5.
Nice.
Yeah,
Like-
Book Off is like it's like a big chain here, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can find Book Offs in most major places. There is a Book Off somewhere. So if you want a good deal for secondhand stuff, just
There's like a
check
bunch
out
of them.
Book
There's
Off.
Book Off, which is mostly focused on like books and games and stuff like that. And then
Yeah.
there's another one called, the name's horrible, but it's called Hard Off. I didn't really think that one through. Which is more like kind of like secondhand like appliances, and like you can get games at Hard Off as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Book Off you can also buy like secondhand clothes as well.
Yeah.
which is pretty good. And then there's another one. There's another version of the Off series.
Giga-
I forgot.
Giga Off.
Yeah, Ride Off. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Sigma Off.
Yeah, because like
Fuck off.
my big problem with Akihabara isn't just the fact that it's like all anime, which, you know, that's not really an issue. It's just like you can't really find anything else. So like if you want to go out for a nice meal afterwards, there's nothing really around Akihabara.
I think the
that's-
only thing I've had in Akihabara is the Royal Host and the
Ramen.
ramen.
the ramen.
There's a lot of ramen.
Or if you want to
That's
drink,
decent ramen, to be fair.
yeah. Or
But
if
the-
you want like, sorry, go.
No, I was about to say, but what I love about Nakano is that Nakano not only has this like kind of cool underground, like especially in Broadway, the whole anime and like weeb shit.
Yeah.
But once you go outside of the Broadway section of Nakano, which is just one building,
Yeah.
then it has some of the coolest bars and restaurants and stuff like. I
That's-
mean, the JoJo bar is in Nakano.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So that's the perfect reason to go to Nakano. That's a business I do want to stay afloat, Connor.
Yeah,
It's like Grinder.
Fuck,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
Grinder.
Go to Dio in Nakano, the JoJo bar. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's a place that we want to stay in business, not the maid cafes.
Yeah.
Bring your business to the JoJo bar.
You have to check
Dio
if it's
in
open
Nakano.
on Twitter, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to follow them on Twitter, see if it's open.
Even though the Google hours say whatever, he tweets out whether he's open or not.
Yeah,
So you
because
have
it's
to check.
literally just one person
one
running
dude.
this
It's one
bar.
dude, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like
Very cool
that's
bar.
another reason to go to Nakano. But aside from that, there's just so many other cool places and other cool restaurants and bars that you can go to in Nakano. And it's one of those places where you can just stumble upon a place. You know, you don't need to Google. You don't need to do a mail-in and like Google which one's like 5-star or something. It's one of those places that you can just get lost in, and you're just like, oh, that place looks cool.
'Cause everything's so tight knit,
Yeah.
and there are like so many tiny restaurants and bars and stuff like that. in
Yeah,
Nakano.
because like I'm like when I go on holiday, right? I'm not the kind of person who is just like planning out everything. I don't have an itinerary. What I prefer is just going into a cool area and just discovering stuff for myself. You know, that's the kind of traveler that I am, and yeah, and
Wandering
Nakano.
traveler he is.
Well, yeah. What a travelled man.
No,
The monkey in him sure knows.
of course, and Nakano is like one of the best areas for that as well.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder. So we've gone to Akihabara. What else is something that like you might consider? You know, I think even though, you know, we don't really go there that often anymore because I feel like it's very much you've got to do it while you're here. Just do a tabe nomi hodai. Just go crazy for it. To go to like a cheap izakaya.
Oh,
just
yeah,
eat
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
drink
yeah.
everything. It's like X amount. For
Do you remember
1
how
hour.
many times we went to like Kinokura and did the
Dude,
2
I
hour?
love
Yeah. Oh
Kinokura,
my
dude.
god.
The 2 hour
I
all
love
you
it.
drink.
Yeah.
You've got to go to a Kinokura if you like to drink and eat a lot.
Go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Kinokura on a Monday, it's 100 yen beers.
Oh,
Yeah.
boys,
If there's
boys, boys.
if there's 2 words you need to learn in Japan, it's not none of this like fucking konnichiwa, arigato shit.
Kore wa pen desu ka shit.
Yeah, Koro, no, you don't need to know that. Fuck
No.
that shit. Osusume, as Conan just said, and nomi hodai,
Yeah.
which is all you can drink, which is
No.
the only 2 words you really need, right?
Also, tabe hodai.
Or
means to
tabe
eat.
hodai.
Tabe and nomi hodai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tabe
Nomi
is
hodai.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you can eat or all you can drink.
I feel like you'll know it's nomi hodai because it'll be very bright and it'll have a number.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be like 2,000
And
something.
you'll see a picture of
Yeah.
a lot of drinks.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
like 2,000 something or if you see a timer, like 2,000 plus 60 something,
Yeah.
you're either about to hire a person for illegal activities or you're going to be having an all you can drink. So fun for all the family, really.
Yeah.
exactly.
Basically, yeah, just go to an izakaya. Do you recommend going to a chain one or
Yeah,
like,
fuck yeah, dude. Go to a Kinokura, dude.
Yeah, Kinokura
It's
or
got
like
English on the tablet.
Yeah,
That's true, that's
true.
Kinokura or like a Torikizoku or like any of those like chains. Like, although it's not like the highest of quality in terms of food, but like I think if you want
Tori,
like
Tori, what's it called again? Tori, the one. you just-
Torikizoku.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
decent.
Torikizoku is good.
fuck
I
with
really
that.
like Torikizoku,
It's literally
like-
just all yakitori. right?
Yakitori, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you can. I think they have nomi and tabe hodai.
Yeah,
do.
they
So
do,
you can
they
get
do.
all you can eat
Yeah.
and all you can drink meat and beer.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
And honestly,
come the
we're,
fuck
we're,
on.
we're saying the food isn't that good, but I remember coming here.
no, it's bomb.
compared,
It's bomb.
It's fucking amazing compared to probably
just been-
where you're
we've been
from.
spoiled
or
living
like,
in Japan.
We have been spoiled. Our food tastes. We've become food snobs because
I remember the first day that Connor came to Japan and I took him to a Kinokura the
Yeah.
moment he got off the plane.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's 100 yen for a beer? And I'm like, yep. And he was like, oh, but it's probably like a cup, right?
No.
Out comes a fucking like pint. And
Yeah.
he's
It's
like,
good.
this is the greatest country in the world.
exactly.
Yeah, literally. Go-
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
correct,
the food is good. I forget because I've been living here for so long. If you're traveling out of England, the food is like fucking 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Compared to anything you can get in England.
This is just like a basic guide. Obviously, if you've been to Japan a bunch, you really
Yeah.
fucking know this shit. You
Yeah.
do whatever you want. But this
Yeah.
is for the boys and girls out there who are coming to Japan for the first
Yeah.
time. What
Yeah.
a good time.
yeah, first time.
Expect everywhere you go to have the most 10 out of 10 food because you will have the most 10 out of 10 food.
And learn like go do karaoke. Just go.
Speaking of Nomi Hodai.
Yeah, speaking of nomi hodai, you will definitely need to know that word for karaoke because basically every karaoke has nomi hodai. And I don't know why you'd want to do karaoke sober. Maybe you do. Maybe you have a great singing voice. I don't. I need to be drunk to sing, okay?
It will probably be a bit awkward because they don't have like any English help
Yeah.
getting it. Just, yeah, I mean, you'll be fine.
I'm sure they used to foreigners.
Just
going to
just
a-
say hold up the number of hours you want in your
Yeah.
hands,
Yeah.
and then say nomi hodai, and they'll tell you a price, and then you just say yes.
And I
Yeah.
feel there's like a weird, I guess, like stereotype of like this karaoke culture outside of Japan because I think when most people think of karaoke, they think of like open mic, like on a stage and stuff like that, which
yeah,
is
yeah.
like I'm not for that. I think
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's kind of cringe because I.
I love it, dude. I love it. What are you on about?
I don't know. I can't. I,
love
can't
that.
do it. I like.
Tequila.
I like singing in front of my friends and people I know in a room because that's fun. Like we can all hang out and stuff. But
The reason I'm not really a fan of like the open mic karaoke right, is because you only get 2 types of people that do it. It's either one, the fucking amazing singers who are basically auditioning for X Factor or something
Yeah.
the next day, or you just get the pissheads who just
Just
murder your
burn.
ears. Like
Okay, I am the latter.
there is
there.
no the thing is there is no in between.
Yeah. Yeah.
You either come out getting a free concert or you come out regretting the fact that you have ears.
Yeah,
There is like
there's
no in
never,
between.
There's never a moment where like someone finishes singing and you're like, hey, that was okay.
yeah.
I like karaoke. There's karaoke bars in Japan where you can sing with everyone else. I love them. They're so fun.
Because I remember
Everyone gets involved. Everyone in the bar like gets hyped.
Yeah, but like you can do that with like a small crowd in a karaoke room, right?
Yeah, but
In
what if you
Japan,
just want to like meet some random Japanese people? Those things pretty fun.
yeah, I mean, but I feel there's better ways to meet Japanese
Yeah.
people than a fucking open mic karaoke. You know?
No, it's the best way. It's the
But
best.
like I remember because I never really thought about it because in my head karaoke was always the Japanese style karaoke
Yeah.
like in a room, right? So like I remember when Felix came to Japan and I really wanted to take him to a karaoke. In his head he was like, "Nah, I don't want to go to karaoke." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Why?" And he's like, "Because he thought about the open mic shit."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Nah, I don't want to do that." And I'm like, "Oh, my poor sweet innocent child, you don't know what real karaoke is like." And I took him. Connor was there.
Yeah.
I went with Dave as well from Boy in a Band.
Yeah.
And he was like, "That's the most fun that he's ever had in Japan." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "I fucking told you."
Yeah, it's
fun.
honestly like one of the funnest things you
That
can
one had a
do in
sick view as
Japan.
well.
I feel
Yeah.
like because I think the thing about Japanese karaoke is that the song selection is fucking godly. You want to sing anime songs, of course you want to sing anime songs. You have all the anime songs at your disposal. But if you can't sing the Nihongo, then you got basically every major song from England and
you just
America.
pick up the
And
tablet and there'll be
Yeah.
foreign songs or something. or
Yeah,
English
yeah.
Option.
You can speak like Korean songs and Chinese songs
Yeah.
as well. Like yeah, it's
I
huge.
think the Japanese karaoke has a better selection of English songs than English karaoke in England.
I think
It's insane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's one of the funnest experiences you can do with your mates.
Oh, you can also get costumes.
Oh yeah. You
Oh
can.
yeah, we did that when
Yeah.
we first came to Japan, didn't we?
I
You can
remember
go
that.
down to the first floor. You'll know it's a karaoke building, so it'll look like something out of Cyberpunk outside. They always have the neon signs or the really
Yeah.
bright signs. And
Yeah,
they're
it's
massive.
If you
They're
see
like
neon,
seven floors.
if you see neon signs, it's going to be pachinko or karaoke, and
and the inside looks like a palace. Oh, so there's pachinko. They all look like a palace inside.
Yeah,
They
go into the building. If your ears are bleeding, it's probably a pachinko. If it's not bleeding, it's probably karaoke.
yeah, because karaoke is actually soundproofing.
Yeah.
it's actually
Oh,
soundproofing.
all the pachinko buildings have tinted windows, so you can't see in.
Yeah.
So they're like
Oh,
frosted.
But you'll know it's a pachinko building because when someone enters it and the doors open, you can
Yeah.
hear that shit from a mile away.
Yeah, and like I feel like do the karaoke's if they want to sing anime songs or Japanese songs, do they have like a function in a lot of karaoke's now that where you can actually where it actually spells it out, not in like katakana, but in
There's some,
English?
Some of them.
to it.
Okay.
It's super rare there, and the selection is super limited.
You're better
Okay.
off just like looking up the English lyrics on your phone.
That's
I
true.
think.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
But but they have like TV sizes where they actually play like the visuals and stuff, which is pretty dope.
My favorite things is seeing what kind of music videos they play with your songs that you sing during karaoke, because it's like I don't know.
Karaoke videos are my favorite.
Who films that? Who I like? Okay,
I think
so,
it's the same people that make the bowling animations.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Must be.
so like if you've never been to like a Asian karaoke, a lot of the music videos, it's basically like the equivalent of a stock image, just with music videos, right? So you'll have like this random, I don't know. My favorite one is where
It's the white guy at the bar.
it's the one. Yeah, you know the one I mean.
It's just like a sad dude
It's
at a
such
bar.
It's like
this
a
is such
sad.
a specific reference that only like one person will
Because it
get.
appears like every 4 songs.
Yeah, or it's like every Queen song is just like these 5 people just dancing on a dance floor in this empty bar, and it looks like the saddest fucking party
like
of
a
all
school
time.
prom.
Yeah, right.
It's my favorite. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know what company fucking filmed this karaoke music
It's all
videos.
British, I think.
Is
That's
it?
It
the
all
thing,
looks
because
like it's
it's
in
not
the UK.
Asian people. It's all like either British or American people that
Yeah.
I see. It's so weird. That's a really interesting topic. I would actually want to know who actually filmed these. Who made these? Who actually made these?
Could ask Joy Sound or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Where
Yeah.
are these videos?
Can you link me to the video?
They look like they're filmed in like the 90s.
Yeah,
they're really old.
Yeah,
or
because
they're
most of them are
2000s.
still on like a 4:3 aspect
Yeah.
ratio. right?
Yeah. You
Best.
Yeah, you know you've like picked like a good song or a popular song when they have like the actual music video. You're like, oh, we're singing good today, boys. We're
Well,
singing
most
good
of the time when
today."
you're selecting the song, it says if it comes with the actual music video.
Yeah,
And if
true.
it doesn't, then you're gonna probably get a white guy at a bar.
Yeah, because the saddest thing is when you select like a banger song or something, and you're like, I'm ready, and then you hear like a MIDI track, and you're like, oh, Oh,
It's always
no.
MIDI.
It's,
they're all
like
MIDI.
like it has like a fucking banger like guitar riff or something, and it's just like
It's like the worst MIDI sounding guitar ever. It's like me, me, me. But it's fun.
But no, karaoke is great, especially with your mates, and it's a great it's a great way to just open up with your mates, because normally you go to a karaoke bar and you don't really want to sing because you don't want to embarrass yourself in front of strangers. But with Japanese karaoke, you can just embarrass yourself in front of your mates equally.
Yeah.
And it's a hell of a fun time.
But if you want to embarrass yourself in front of your mates in another way, you can also go to an onsen as well, a public bath.
Of course, yes.
Which I think is a much taller hurdle for a lot of people.
I'd
than
recommend
most.
just going to, you can book like Ryokans, which normally have onsens. You can book them on like booking.com.
Yeah, and even if you have tattoos, like you can if you,
You
if you
get
have the
private
if you have the
ones.
expendable income, then
Where would you
can-
recommend for that though? Because before we had the massive onsen
one's
in
gone.
Tokyo,
Onsen
in
Monogatari,
Odaiba.
yeah.
Yeah. Onsen Monogatari. Unfortunately, we can't recommend that anymore because
it's
that was
gone.
because
So sad.
I'm so sad because that was like the perfect onsen to recommend, because you go to the onsen,
Salute
and
to
then,
a real one.
and then you'd go to like Diver City and just see the massive Gundam, and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck, damn, what a perfect day trip. You know,
Yeah,
that's the perfect
honestly.
day trip. Unfortunately, that's not available anymore.
I still think some of the it depends how far out of Tokyo you want to go into. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like small bathhouses in and around Tokyo in like the more like suburban areas, but that's not really an onsen. If you want like the onsen experience without going too far out of Tokyo, I'd say Hakone is probably
Yeah,
the
I'd say
closest.
Hakone is pretty good.
That's in Kanagawa, which is one prefecture across.
a
But
bullet train?
you can, or not even, you can get the
It's a romance car. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know
It's
why
called
it's
the romance car.
The romance car.
But it's
Me and the
basically it's like
boys.
it's like halfway between a bullet train and a regular train. It's like more
Yeah.
bougie than a regular train, but it's not as fast as a bullet train.
yeah.
And you can go directly from Shinjuku to Hakone in like an hour, I think.
Yeah.
For it's
It's
relatively
about an
cheap
hour.
as well.
Yeah. And yeah, Hakone is a really, really nice little cute small
I
town.
love Hakone.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's this really small Ava store right on the station.
Yeah.
Which I go to every time. I don't know, and the reason for that is because Hakone is what they base Tokyo 3 off of.
Yep.
So if you've seen Evangelion and you've seen the movies, you will recognize the trains that that they use there, because they look exactly like they do in Ava. You'll be like, oh, it's I see Shinji right there listening to a headphone. Oh, look.
Weeb's disgusting.
And you walk around and you see vending machines and like Asuka and Mari and like
Yeah.
Shinji is everywhere.
I really recommend if you want like a nice kind of maybe like a 2-day trip outside of Tokyo, because Hakone is not only really good, especially if you love Ava, of course, but like also there's the Jigokudani, which is like the sulfur plumes of like the mountains of Hakone is really nice, and there's
I've
they've
never
got like
been there before.
It's really dope. You go up this like huge I was about to say monorail. It's not a monorail. It's like a, what do they call it? Like this fuck. What do they call it? It's like not a ski lift, but what?
Gondola.
Yeah, gondola. That's it. Yeah, you go up this like gondola from the base of this lake in Hakone, and you go up into the mountains, and you get this really, really nice view of the lake. And on a good day, like if the weather's really good, you can see this like perfect view of Mount Fuji as well. So that's really dope. And then you go into this little valley, and you go into this place called Jigokudani, which is called Hell's Valley. Japan has a couple of Hell's Valleys.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Isn't there one in Hokkaido too?
There's one in Hokkaido
Yeah.
as well, and there's also one around like Gifu as well.
Right.
But yeah, it's just this like really cool like
Full of hell.
sulfur plume place where you can get really close to like volcanic sulfur plumes. Kind of smells like farts the entire
Sulfur
time.
does
Yeah, I
smell
mean,
like fun.
But
That
it's
is-
kind of
that
a
is
really
sulfur.
cool, unique experience.
Yeah.
I personally recommend it. It's a good day trip.
Yeah, because Hakone was the first hot springs town that I went to, and I really enjoyed myself. The one thing I will say is, if you go to Hakone, it's really weird, because like I went to Hakone and I expected it to be something not similar to Tokyo, but like you expect to go to a hot spring and then you expect to like walk around and explore somewhere. But like a lot of Ryokans, they expect you to stay at that one establishment for the entirety of your trip, right? A lot of these hotels and a lot of these Ryokans will have all will have everything you need within that facility, because they don't really expect you to go out and explore, because normally there isn't really much to explore in that immediate area unless you take a bus or something, right?
Yeah.
At least that's my experience. So
Yeah.
there's like, don't expect, like, you can go explore, but if you want to go explore, you probably need to plan it out a bit more, because the place you're staying in isn't necessarily going to be near a lot of tourist attractions.
Yeah.
Especially if you're staying at a ryokan. Having said that, if you do stay in a ryokan, be prepared to get up and eat fucking breakfast. Okay. That's one thing which I
At
don't
an
know.
egregiously early time.
I'm not sure if I am a fan of it, but if you do stay at ryokans are great, right? Ryokans are great because I feel like in terms of hotels, they're like the most aesthetic place you can stay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you are pampered there. It's great.
It's the most authentic, like, Japanese accommodation experience.
Yeah, exactly. And they normally have the nicest onsens that you could find.
Oh, you normally sleep on a futon though, on the floor, so not a bed. So if that's something you might.
But if you
don't
want
like.
that authentic Japanese
Yeah, I
experience,
mean, I
know,
like
I
it.
know.
I like it.
Futons, I feel like, are better than bed
Yeah,
sometimes.
but right, people might not want to.
Sure,
some people might have 1,000 thread count, you know.
They might be thinking like, "Where's my bed?" when they get there.
Like, oh, is that it? All right.
Yeah, but like if you don't come down for breakfast at the agreed time, they will find your family and they will kill everyone you love. Or at least that's what I get out of like
Yeah.
if
it's included in the cost as well. So
Yeah.
that's why they're normally quite expensive, because dinner is normally included.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
And
don't
so
want you
is-
wasting money.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, these dinners are normally like really large courses. So they're like the reason why a ryokan
Kaiseki
seems
ryori.
like, like ryokan's like normally like what, like $300-400 a night minimum. And that's because like half of that has gone to the food,
food.
if not more.
Yeah, you
So-
will be eating like a king. You will
Oh,
be
yeah.
eating like a king. So if you see the price of the ryokan, don't get too shocked at the price because you're paying for the food as well, and it's normally like really
High
really good
quality.
food. It's
Really
high
good.
quality. It might be even a bit too much sometimes.
You'll get a good taste of the local dishes though. Normally, they
Yeah.
only use local ingredients,
Yep.
and it's
Yeah.
normally a really good way to just try Japanese food that you normally wouldn't order. Like I'm never going to order half the shit they give me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
because half of it is super slimy.
yeah.
But I'll always eat it because I don't want to, have to make eye contact with that small Japanese lady who asks me why I didn't like it, which they have done many times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll ask, so now I just eat
I
everything.
just eat everything.
I eat everything, but originally when I didn't like eat something, they would sometimes just stare at me and be like, "Why didn't you eat it? What's wrong? Are you okay?
What's your address?
Are you sick? Do you have COVID? Are you dying?"
I will find you.
I will kill you.
That's the vibe. That's the vibe you get.
Pillow over the face.
That's the thing. You feel so intimidated, but no, like it's like I'd even like recommend going to ryokan to try the traditional Japanese
should,
food
definitely.
over even going to a restaurant, right? Because with a restaurant, you don't know what to order. You look at the menu and it's like, I don't know what I'm going to like, but it's kind of like ryokan food is kind of like a tasting menu. You kind of get a little bit of everything.
Lots of little small
Yeah.
chunks
Little
of
bit
a
of
lot of
A little bit of
different
everything.
things.
You're going to find
Something
something you
for
like,
everything.
some things you don't like, but it's a great way to just easily get the traditional Japanese experience. Just don't miss breakfast because did I hear you say like they came to your room once and woke you up to get breakfast? Or was that Chris?
A woman literally. I was with Chris.
Right.
I think I was on a journey across Japan trip, and one morning the night prior I got very drunk. So the morning,
as we do,
as you
sometimes.
do, and then the morning of, I was very hungover. And the lady kept knocking on my door, being like, "Breakfast ready," and I'm like, "All right, yeah, shut up. I have a throbbing headache right now." And then she fucking just walks in and just like rips the sheet off me, and I'm just like, "What are you?
way.
I'm like, what are you,
No
my
way.
mother?" Like,
Really?
yeah.
What the fuck?
And she was like making sure you're alive, and I was like, "You, fucking all right."
She came and ripped it, huh?
Yeah, or like slowly like took it off. Like
That's
just,
even worse.
Yeah.
That's like more creepy.
and I'm like, for one, I'm freezing my ass off. Two, I have a throbbing headache. Three, how did you get in?
What the fuck? I've never heard of
Yeah,
that.
that's an exception, though. That's an
that's
exception.
something else.
Most places they'll just like ring you up on the phone
no,
to
just-
make sure, yeah,
I've
that you're
also
not
stayed
dead.
at like
5 more minutes, mum. 5 more
Yeah,
minutes, come on,
I've
please.
also stayed at like modern ryokans, if you will, that are more like they're like they have beds,
Like Western Ryokans?
and and they're like way more modernized. In Hokkaido, there's
I think
a
that's
really
just
nice
called a
one.
hotel.
Well, it's like it's weird because it'll have tatami mats,
Oh.
but it'll have a bed, and it'll have.
Oh, I know
like-
what. Yeah.
a
Those are
few of
usually
them.
like more higher up, though, right?
Yeah, but they're normally it's because I find that the prices aren't different. Like
Really?
the really traditional ones sometimes cost more than the more modernized ones because they charge a shit ton for food, or maybe they have a lot of workers. That's one. They have so many workers at Ryokans. Insane amount.
They do.
But also sometimes the service is nuts.
Yeah.
They'll like the moment you turn up, there's like 4 of them greeting you. They'll like take all your bags right away, and then oh my god, it's just like so intense. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is happening?
Sometimes it's a bit too intense, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes you're just like, okay, I know you're wanting to make me feel comfortable, but you're making me feel a little bit too comfortable now.
Yeah, I said like 3 or 4 recently with Chris on a video, and it was really. It was
I remember I
basically-
rocked up to one, and
fun getting
as
tried
we
much.
were driving into the Ryokan, there was like 10 employees
Yeah,
all lined
dude.
up,
Yeah,
and just like
yeah.
slowly bowed. And I was just like, bro, I'm not the queen. Like, chill
yeah,
out.
literally,
right?
you feel like it, dude.
You feel like royalty in the best way.
Yeah.
It's good. There's a lot of different price points and different kind of variations of onsens. And one, I think I was in the one near the snow monkeys,
Oh yeah.
and that was amazing because the whole town is an onsen town.
Which town is this?
It's called I think there's 2. I think this one's called Yudanaka.
Yudanaka, yeah.
Yudanaka, and the other one was which is famous for like having a big onsen pit that you can't go in it, but what's it called? Ku something? I don't know if I'm going crazy.
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
And honestly, it's in Nagano.
Whereabouts is it?
Nagano. So you can drive from
Nagano.
Tokyo if you really want to.
You can easily
Yeah.
get the bullet train as well from
Get the
Tokyo.
bullet train to Kusatsu.
Kusatsu Onsen, yeah, that's
Kusatsu.
like the top 3 onsen cities or towns.
That
in
was so
Japan.
good because we stayed in an onsen that was literally like 1 foot away from the town center. Really cool, really cool area.
The other top 3 I went to was Gero Onsen as well. That's in
Oh, I've wanted to go
Shizuoka.
to
That
that.
one's
Right.
really. That's the one where Chris and I bathed in a 1,000-year-old log. That place.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that's
1,000-year-old log.
Yeah, there's a bath made out of 1,000-year-old log, and it was actually
Yeah.
really nice. That's in Gero.
When you guys book onsens, well, I know that's not a problem for you, Joe, but do you go with the English sites or do you go with
You
the
can use
Japanese
booking.com
sites?
super easily.
Okay.
Unless it isn't on booking.com, which is quite rare actually.
Yeah, I've never really seen anything that's not on Booking.
It's all on
Right.
booking.com, which
Okay.
is really weird. You'd think like super traditional, but nah, dude, you can book it all on booking.com.
Yeah.
Have they modernized? Have they
Yeah.
actually
They might
modernized?
have.
I've never seen a ryokan that I wanted to go to that wasn't on booking.com.
Right.
I don't know why that is. Because some hotels aren't on booking.com,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is really weird. But yeah, I stayed at a place one time where like they didn't have the onsen built in. They had a hot tub, so they would fill the hot tub with onsen water that they brought in via truck.
That's weird.
So is that really an onsen?
It's an onsen if it has onsen water in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
If you fill a bathtub up with an onsen water, that's technically
it's
an onsen.
If I bring seawater in my bathtub, is it the sea?
It's the sea bath.
Is it the sea?
Well, yeah, it's a sea bath.
Sea bath.
It's a sea bath though. Is it the sea though? Is it a hot spring?
Well, there's no place where you can go for the TM onsen.
You know the word onsen just means warm spring.
Yeah, you can just get it. What makes it an onsen is that it has like the fucking
Minerals.
Yeah. And every single onsen has like the pH sign and stuff that tells you what's outside of it. So they're really strict on what can and can't be an onsen. It's really strange.
Yeah, legally speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But highly recommend just getting over your fear of getting naked in front of your mates or whatever. And
Is
going
that a
in
problem?
onsen.
Is that a problem?
I think
JoJo
for,
fans?
for a lot of people. it is.
JoJo fans, this does not apply to
Yeah,
you.
it doesn't apply to JoJo fans.
Yeah, because I remember like there's been a couple of my friends who just like refused to go to an onsen just because they were like uncomfortable with getting naked in front of me or the mates, and I'm just like,
Dicks out for the boys.
yeah, I'm like dicks out for the boys, dude. Like it's
Yeah.
we all have them. It's like who cares? You'll get over it in 5 minutes.
It's a bonding experience. It
is.
is. It is a bonding experience.
Fuck, I love saunas, dude.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know
can't
if that's like a
handle
white
saunas.
person thing.
Nah,
but
sauna-
I love saunas.
I
dude.
like saunas. I just can't stay in them for long.
Love it. I love
Yeah.
getting in the ice cold water. Fuck, dude, it feels so
Oh, I don't
good.
like that.
I don't. You do the things that I hate,
Yeah.
like the sauna
Love
and the ice bath.
cold, dude. The onsen for me is just the warm up for the sauna.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when it doesn't have a sauna, I get so sad. But luckily in Japan now recently, sauna's becoming like a trend.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are like obsessed with saunas and the health benefits.
Yeah, there's a lot of like dedicated sauna places in Japan now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my God, do I love a sauna. I love one, dude.
It's very white of you.
I think that is very, very white, but like I fucking love it.
But yeah, like I guess going back to Tokyo, is there any other places or areas in Tokyo that you like?
I know it's like a massive tourist trap, but just go to Golden Guy. It's fun.
Golden Guy's good.
Don't go into any bars where a guy's telling you to go into a bar.
Yeah.
Go into bars.
Shinjuku, there's a lot of really cool places in Shinjuku, but there's also a lot of sketch places in Shinjuku. So you really have to be careful.
Again, if someone tells you to go into a bar, don't go into the bar.
Don't go into a bar.
That's just a rule of thumb.
Yep.
There's a bunch of really cool bars, between Sanchome. Sanchome, there's a ton of really cool bars near, like behind the malls. There's a bunch of really tightly knit areas that have a shit ton of nice bars, and nearly all of them I've been into are pretty damn good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's mostly when we think of like sketch places in Shinjuku, it's mostly like some parts of Golden Guy and Nichome, which is like the gay bar district. I've been to a few gay bars in Nichome, and they're really, really fun. But the problem is a lot of places they won't let you in unless you're going in with someone who they already know.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of them I don't think are very foreigner friendly either.
Oh no, there's quite a lot actually.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's quite a lot.
Okay.
I've when I went filming there, and I've been there a few times. There's a lot of bars that are very, very foreign.
Oh, okay.
Oriented.
So if you want to experience gay bars in Japan, and they are pretty dope, at least the ones I've been to, then go to Nichome.
I mean, I think gay bars are just pretty dope in general.
Check out the one that I went.
Like,
I went to. It's an anime song gay bar.
An Anisong gay bar.
So
Okay.
you know.
That sounds fun as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. All the dudes there were just an absolute.
Honestly, gay bars are like some of the funnest bars you can go to.
Oh,
I
yeah.
say this as someone who grew up in Brighton, where there was a bunch of gay bars.
Gay bar
And
capital of the UK.
everyone's just like so up for anything, and it's just like
sure.
it's
Everyone's
a lot.
up for anything.
Everyone's up for
I
anything.
can't steady on.
I don't know. Also, they're just a lot of fun. You know?
yeah.
The vibe, it's just
I
a
know,
good
yeah.
vibe. It's just
Really good bonding experience if you want to like talk to Japanese people,
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah.
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 Daikonyama has a bunch of cool bars. Daikonyama, that area.
Daikonyama does have a bunch of cool bars, but they do get a bit costly.
Oh, they're very
Yeah.
expensive,
Yeah.
but they're super, super cool. Like there's like breweries in Daikonyama.
Oh, the brewery in Daikonyama is really
yeah,
dope.
that one's
I
sick.
don't think I've been to Daikonyama.
Yes, you have gone.
Yeah,
Have I?
you've been,
been, like-
we've been to the brewery
gone
in
there a ton.
Daikonyama.
Which brewery is it again? Is it the Spring Valley
Yeah,
Brewery?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
Daikonyama.
that's in
Oh,
Daikonyama.
I thought that was Ebisu.
That area has like every single bar I've been to in that area is sick.
Okay, yes, I do agree with that.
We went to
then.
the cigar bar in Daikonyama as well.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Every
Sorry.
bar in the area I've been to is just awesome.
I just completely blanked on the area name. I was just like, that's close to Ebisu.
Yeah, you can
right?
walk to it from Ebisu.
Ebisu
Yeah,
is
yeah.
awesome as well.
Yeah.
Go to
Ba-
Ebisu as
Yeah,
well.
basically Ebisu is just south of Shibuya.
Yep.
It's one stop away, and I'd say that it's like I actually prefer Ebisu over Shibuya, even though Shibuya is like the more famous place to go to, because to me Shibuya is just way too crowded. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get that. But
Yeah.
like, there's also a lot of like really cool places in Shibuya if you know where you're looking. Like,
That's true, that's true.
You know, a lot of like Shibuya's a lot like
Didn't know
Shinjuku.
Shibuya.
Yeah, Shibuya's a lot like Shinjuku, where like it is like heavily like infested with a lot of tourist traps. But
Yeah.
also Shibuya is so massive that
Yeah.
if you go to like, you know, like fucking Aoyama, for example, which is like the area on the way towards Harajuku, like
Right.
that place has a lot of like really cool like hidden stuff around as well, and it's not really that far from Shibuya.
Yeah.
I think like, yeah, one thing I would definitely recommend if you're going to like the big locations is to like kind of try to venture out of the center. Because there you do tend to find a lot of really cool hidden stuff that isn't overpriced to shit.
Yeah.
And that applies to like most places in Tokyo.
Yeah, exactly. What do you guys think of Ikebukuro?
I really like Ikebukuro.
Well, there's two sides to
Two
Ikebukuro.
sides. Yeah, sure.
Okay, there's
I
two
like
sides.
the east side of Ikebukuro.
Okay.
Yeah, west side is like very, very, very sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The east is Sunshine City, and everything around that area is actually
Sunshine
pretty sick.
City and Otome Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that area is pretty sick.
What I like about Ikebukuro is that you get a little bit of everything. You know,
Yeah.
it is kind of
the
like
way
that.
you said that was so memey. A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
You do
Some
kind
of
of get
everybody.
You do kind of get a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
If
definitely.
you just want to like go to an area and just you want to get some anime, you got Otome
Oh,
Road
some
there.
of their ramen places are in
Yeah, you
Ikebukuro.
got
Oh, yeah.
some really really good restaurants, some really good bars. You got Sunshine City.
Yeah. And then if you want a lot of like really good like Southeast Asian restaurants and like Indian restaurants, you go to the west side of Ikebukuro. But it's also very scary at
West
night.
side
Yeah.
is literally like I don't know what happened with
Okay,
the divide,
yeah.
but like
Yeah,
west
to-
side is like literally just like
To-
lots
to-
of sketchy places.
Yeah, to explain, you east side and west side, you're not going to be able to easily wander from one side to the other because it's literally east side and west side of the station. So
Yeah.
you literally have to go through the station to get to either side, right?
Or walk over the
And
train.
it's like It's such a big dichotomy that I don't like. It's literally a fucking line that separates one, like, the bougie side from, like, the really, really sketch side. And,
Yeah.
like, I don't know how, like, one station can separate, like, two areas that are just the complete opposite of each other.
It's crazy. You're like on the train. On the one side, it's like, oh, you can eat. Oh, all this. And the other side, it's like, women, 500 yen an hour. Fuck, sex. And it's like, whoa,
There's
okay.
a lot of there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Steady on.
brothels and host clubs and stuff like that on the west
There's
side.
going to be a lot of guys trying to get you into a lot of girls' bars.
Yeah.
And,
Just stay on the east side. You'll have a good time. There's a
Yeah,
Danny
east side's
too.
good. East
They
side's
got a
good.
round one, a really big round one.
Very big round one.
And Sunshine City is a ton of malls.
Yeah,
That's
it's really
shops.
really good shopping, really good food, lots of
have we
anime
explained
stuff.
what round one is?
Americans know what round one is. It's an American
Is
chain
it?
as well, right?
I think so. Yeah,
They're round one. It's arcade plus
bowling.
bowling plus it's got everything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can live in up round one. I don't know.
Yeah, right. It's got fucking
Love round
everything.
one.
What was the place that we filmed a video at, Joey?
The break room.
The break room. Is that in Ikebukuro?
Yeah, that's an East Ikebukuro as well.
Yeah, that's in East Ikebukuro. That's actually like I want to go back there to.
I want to
hang
go
out.
back. I've been thinking to do another video.
Yeah. So if you've seen the Joey's video with me and him during the break room, where you get to just break a bunch of shit, they'd have more than that there as well. They have like
axe throwing.
They have axe throwing there, and what is it, Nabi?
the axe throwing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
axe throwing. There's like a paint area as well. And stuff
Yeah,
like
where
that.
you can like spray paint or just
That's a really cool place.
fuck
That's
up
in
a
East
wall.
Ikebukuro.
And you can drink there as well. It's got a lot of like games there as well.
You should also go to Bagus. I love Bagus.
Bagus.
Yeah.
Bagus. Just type
Amazing.
BAGUS into Google whenever you're here, and I guarantee there'll be one within a walking distance of you if you're in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And you can play. There's a variety of things. The three staples they have are ping pong, pool, and darts.
I actually recently filmed a video at the Ikebukuro Bagus, which I hope it's out by the time this episode is
is that
out.
like the grand one?
Yeah, it's the big one on Sunshine Road, like
Wow.
next to the
Okay.
cinemas.
What else can you do in that one? Because
You
some
can
of them
do
have golf.
Yeah, you can do golf, ping pong, pool, darts, and I think the one in Ikebukuro has the largest selection of manga.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And they also have they also have like a theater rooms as well.
Oh.
That you can just like if you like rent out movies from outside of Bagus,
Yeah.
you can't do it inside the Bagus. But if you go to like a rental place, you can bring in like games and like
Oh.
rental games and like rental movies, and
Oh,
you can just
okay.
like have a room to yourself
Oh.
and just play games and movies.
Also, the darts in Japan it's no basic darts. This
Yeah.
shit is like cyberpunk darts. Like it's like
It
the
is.
board is like a score. There's animations and shit. This thing
Yeah.
is so fun. You got to go.
Yeah.
And also ordering drinks is can be kind of stressful if you don't know any Japanese. Basically, there'll be a phone next to your table in a lot of
Yeah.
these places. You just
Oh,
call
now
up-
they just have tablets.
do they? Baggers does.
Yep.
I went in the Baggers the other day. You had to call.
Oh, really?
Some of them you have to call.
Okay, some of them have to call it.
You call up, you just say the name of the drink you want, and then say ichi or ni.
Yeah.
And just
Oh,
say it very
three
basic.
phases. The third phase phrase is namabi,
Namabi.
which is just
Or
like
you can just
the-
say nama.
Draft
Oh,
beer.
just nama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which just means like the beer
Draft
on tap
beer.
or the
Yeah.
draft beer or the
Draft beer.
default beer. That's just basically the only drink I ordered when I came to Japan for the first time.
Wow. Oh, it's good. It's
yeah, it's
decent.
good.
Japanese
It's very
drinks, yeah.
drinkable, I'd say. I wouldn't say it's the nicest, but it's just very easy.
It
to
goes
keep
down
drinking.
easy.
It's the thing about Japanese beer is that it's just very it's kind of like refreshing, you know what I mean? Because I was gonna say it's like water, but that's not doing it justice. You know, it's just very it's not American beer.
Yeah,
you know?
it's not. It's
It's
like
not Miller Lite, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
It's no Miller
not
Lite.
watery. It's just
It's just
like,
refreshing, you know,
yeah.
because it's very light without feeling like it's a very cheap beer. It's how do I
It's like it goes down really light, but you still get the full taste of the beer.
Yeah,
if that makes
exactly,
sense. Yeah.
exactly.
I don't know how they do it. It's like some Japanese wizardry happening, but
Yeah.
very
Like
good.
with some of the most refreshing beer I've had is, I guess this is a place that I also highly recommend. We're going outside. We're going way outside of Tokyo now. Is in Hokkaido. Because
How do you get to Hokkaido, Garnt? Where
Huh?
do I stay in Hokkaido?
where do you stay in Hokkaido? Well, I've only stayed near Sapporo actually. So,
Basic. Basic.
but there are several ways to
Ah,
get
it's
to
good.
Hokkaido because Hokkaido is pretty damn big.
Hokkaido,
So-
by the way, is the big island at the top.
You should go there because the food is the best and the drink is the best. But you can get there by train, but it's a pain in the ass from Tokyo.
Yeah.
It's like 4.
Well, I mean,
5
it's
hours?
like
No.
4 or 5 hours, and the last stop is in Hakodate, which is a
Oh yeah,
5-hour
no, dude,
drive
just
from
fly,
Sapporo.
just fly.
Yeah.
Look,
Fly.
actually, like I think like when I was stuck in Hokkaido, the price for the planes was actually cheaper than the price for the
It is,
Shinkansen.
Yeah, it is.
Just
So
fly.
yeah,
from
if
Haneda.
you- but like like we're talking like if you want to explore outside of Tokyo, maybe this is your second trip, third trip. You've
Or
seen
maybe
Tokyo,
you're just such an adventurer that
maybe
you want to go out
or
immediately.
maybe yeah, exactly. Maybe you're an adventurer. You want to go out. Fucking highly recommend Hokkaido.
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
Sapporo is such a cool fucking city.
It
as well.
is. It
Great
is.
bars.
Yeah.
Go and get something called Genghis Khan. It's
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
awesome, dude. It's
Yeah.
all you can eat normally sometimes if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Lamb.
It's
on a
like
grill.
Korean barbecue with
It's
lamb,
fucking
but it's a
amazing.
million times
So
better.
good.
Because like you're gonna
So good.
come to Japan, and you're gonna cream your pants at how fucking good the food is here, and you're like, my god, this is like peak cuisine. How can it get better? It can't get better. And then you go to Hokkaido, and you're like, how have they improved on perfection?
And then Hokkaido's like, hold my Sapporo.
yeah.
I'll give you good food.
Yeah, like I don't know how Hokkaido has just like made like such good food even better, because all of the best Japanese cuisine I've had has basically come from Hokkaido, or it's just in Hokkaido. Like the best ramen I've had is in Sapporo. If you want
Best
to,
seafood I've had is in Sapporo.
yeah, of course, the best seafood
Yeah.
I've had is in Sapporo. If you want to go, if you're in Sapporo and you want to go, just easily find like a ramen joint, just go to Ramen Alley, because there's just a bunch of like different ramen shops there. And
In the airport.
huh?
In the airport.
Not in the airport. There is.
No, in Sapporo. There's a
Oh,
place
yeah,
called
yeah,
Ramen
there
Alley.
was-
There's
yeah.
in Sapporo. There's a place called Ramen Alley, and I've been there a bunch of times just to try like the different kind of ramen stalls, and it's like that's where I've had the best ramen I've ever had in Japan. Just like and like every store there has like a different type of ramen, and it just they are all fucking amazing. They're all fucking
I agree.
bomb.
I agree.
Yeah, just like Hokkaido in general, I think if you're gonna go, we do recommend the winter. At least I recommend the winter, because there's a bunch of snow there. It looks aesthetic as fuck.
Winter Wonderland.
Yeah, it is Winter Wonderland. That's where the snow festival is held.
Your plane might get delayed.
That is
Like it did for Garnt.
that is the one downside of going to Hokkaido, which is because it snows a lot. You're kind of playing gacha with your plane. Like, will your plane take off in time? Will it not? Will it get cancelled? Well, the entire airport shut down. Find out when you basically go, because you can never really plan around that, unfortunately.
Also, you can go to Niseko, which is, in my opinion, one of the best ski resorts in Japan.
Boys.
yeah, that's
Which is where we went. And it's fucking great.
Niseko is amazing.
Yeah.
It'll probably be rammed with tourists.
Oh,
when you're
yeah.
watching this, but I mean,
course.
it's amazing though.
Yeah,
really good
of course.
food.
I mean, like, I feel like I've only been on 2 ski resorts now in Japan, and Niseko is the superior one, but also it is very foreigner friendly.
Yes.
So much so that you
everyone.
might encounter more foreigners than you will Japanese people.
Yeah, dude, it's
Yeah.
all Aussies.
Yeah, it's all Aussie.
It is all Aussie.
But then again,
Damn it.
that's almost all ski resorts in Japan. It's just all
Right.
Aussies.
It's good though. Really good area.
Yeah, really, really
Recommend
good.
it.
I've never been to Hakodate though. What's that like?
Hakodate is chill. I
Oh,
like
that
it.
is chill. I like it.
Had the best crab in my life there.
Yeah, I think if you want the best seafood,
Hakodate.
Yeah.
Hakodate is the place.
Because
Really?
because it's a port.
Because that's where they catch all the
Yeah.
seafood.
Oh, okay.
So they have a little fish market in Hakodate, which is
Yeah.
called the Hakodate Fish
So
Market.
fucking
You
good,
go there super early in the morning, and you get literally the catch that they caught a couple of hours prior.
Fuck.
And it
It's
is,
amazing.
in my opinion, the best fucking seafood I've had ever.
Yeah.
I think even though the seafood is amazing in Hokkaido, yeah, I have to say in Hakodate
Hakodate.
it was the best.
Next level.
Right.
So good. So
It's also a really small, like, kind of quaint little town as well. You can get around very easily with like their tram system that they have.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
you can walk around a lot of the center though.
You can, but you can
Yeah.
also go to like kind of the nearby mountains
Oh,
as
true,
well,
true,
and get
true.
like a really nice view of Hakodate during the night. Yeah, really nice.
Where do you reckon, Guy? Where do you reckon people should get the seafood? Just any restaurant, or do you think?
Honestly, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, even
it's
like
all
the,
decent.
yeah,
Yeah.
even like the 100 yen sushi places are
It's all
still
decent.
really
all
good.
solid.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, even if you go to a big chain, especially like the conveyor belt sushis, because the obviously the ingredients are locally sourced, like just because even if you go to the same sushi chain that you might have been to in Tokyo, it will taste entirely different to another the same sushi chain that you have in another place.
chain.
Yeah.
Sushi
chain.
Sushi chain. Yeah, so like even if you go to like a conveyor belt sushi, don't expect that it will taste exactly the same in Tokyo as it will in another place you go to, because I've had that exact experience where I'm just like, holy fucking shit, I didn't realize that the quality could differ this much with the same chain.
Oh, yeah,
you know, you think you go to McDonald's, you get like most of the time get the same experience every time, but with sushi chains, it's just it's wildly different depending. Not wildly, because the baseline is good, right?
Yeah.
The baseline is good. It goes from good to fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say here.
I've never had food poisoning from fish here. It's always been sausages. So take that as scientific 100% proof that,
Yeah.
that shit's bust.
It's not even chicken sashimi or it's chicken.
It's the goddamn sausage.
No.
Yeah, I think but like one thing you need to take into account is that it's actually like it's a lot harder than you think to get from Hakodate to Sapporo if you want to explore all of Hokkaido.
It's
right?
I'd say it's practically impossible to explore all of Hokkaido because it's just so massive.
Those two. There's a few
those two are
other
like
places.
the big major cities, right?
Without a car,
without a
Oh
car.
no,
not
you're
getting
screwed in
anywhere.
Hokkaido
Well, like,
without a car.
I drove around Hokkaido a bit. It's really fun. I really recommend it. Some really cool towns like Toyoko. It's really cool.
Oh, Toyoko was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the best super car I've ever had in my life was in Toyoko.
so good.
Yeah, because like I think the drive between Hakodate and Sapporo is like 4 hours or something.
3 to
isn't
4
it?
hours.
It's like
3 to 4 hours,
yeah.
even with the train.
And
Which
Which
most-
is 2 hours with Europe.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's just you're going through the mountains.
Yeah, which is really weird because like you can really get tricked by the map, right? Because you go on Google Maps and you go Tokyo to Hakodate, which is like that, and
Yeah.
it's like 3 hours or 4 hours with the Shinkansen, and then you're
There's
just
no
like,
Shinkansen, by the way.
Huh?
It's not a Shinkansen.
It's not a Shinkansen?
The Shinkansen stops at Hakodate.
oh, okay. No, yeah. To Hakodate, it stops
Yeah.
at Hakodate, right? So it's like 3 hours. So it's like, oh, okay, that's not too bad. And then you're like, okay, maybe I can explore Sapporo as well because it's just over
just
there.
there, yeah.
It's just right next to Hakodate. And then you Google Hakodate to Sapporo, and it's like 4 hours, 4.5 hours
Yeah.
to get like that distance. And you're
Yeah.
like, what? How does this make sense? So that's something to keep in mind, which is it's a lot harder to explore all of Hokkaido than it may initially seem.
I think it's because when you're on the mainland Japan, you're so used to like everything being so much smaller, right? Like all the prefectures are way smaller. All the towns are more like
They're just
tightly
easy
knit.
to get to,
Yeah,
right?
easily to get to.
Yeah, easy access.
And then you realize that Hokkaido, in terms of prefectures, is like so much insanely larger than the next biggest prefecture in Japan that you kind of forget that like, oh, yeah, this place is fucking massive.
Right?
It's like impossible to get around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any other places outside of Tokyo that
There's
you
the obvious
guys?
count. Kyoto.
Oh yeah.
Are we gonna talk about Kyoto? Are we
What do you
gonna
mean? Is it like cancelled? Is
Kyoto is
I don't know
cancelled.
if we can mention it, man. After what Kyoto did.
I think Kyoto is
Listen,
still great to go to.
if you're gonna go to Osaka, right? Because it's a fun place.
Yeah.
And you might want to go to USJ, see the
Yeah.
Mario World.
Yep.
You may as well go to Kyoto. It's an hour away, 40 minutes, I think, right? Yeah, it's like super duper
it's like
close.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may as well go to both. Kyoto is a fucking nightmare to get around, though, I will say. I know there's ways you can get around with public transport, but honestly, if you're going there for a trip, I'd say just taxi it around to Kyoto. It's super easy to do.
it's a lot
Yeah.
cheaper to get a taxi in Kyoto
And
than
you
it
can
is in
do
Tokyo.
way more shit because if you just taxi from places in Kyoto, you'll get so much more done. I know that me and Chris did like so many like major like tourist things in like
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah.
Just because we just taxied everywhere.
Yeah.
And did a good
Yeah.
route.
Yeah.
And the ryokans in Kyoto are amazing. Obviously, super traditional.
If you want that like super traditional Japan, you know,
Really
like
good, really
Kiyomizudera, Inari Shinja, like all those. And then the good thing is again, Osaka is only 30 minutes away. Nara, where you can feed the deers, is only like 45 minutes
true.
away. You can go to the other side. You can go to Shiga, which is near like Biwako, which is
Yeah.
Japan's biggest inland lake. That place is really lovely.
Kyoto feels like
underrated.
the iPhone store of Japan. It's like everything is so minimal and clean.
Yeah.
Kyoto is so impeccably
How do you
clean.
think it's going to be when the country opens up and we get tourists back?
I'm scared
though?
because I've only ever been to Kyoto with no tourists.
Yeah,
I've
because
been to Kyoto with tourists and it's hell.
because like the reason I was just like, do we want to talk about Kyoto is just because
People are
like
gonna go. I mean, they're
yeah,
gonna go.
I mean
Yeah.
like
We can't not
people will want to go obviously, but it is even more probably like when the country opens back up, it's going to be even more of a tourist trap than Tokyo is.
Well, 'cause I think
That's what
that
it seems like. That's
Kyoto
what it
is
seemed like to me.
extremely popular with Chinese tourists.
Yeah.
Yes, it
because
is.
it has a lot of historical.
I went
significance.
during Chinese New Year and it was
Oh my god.
oh my god, it was
'Cause, like-
literal shoulder to shoulder.
Oh
people
my god.
where you
You're
went.
like, I didn't want to eat today anyway. All the
Yeah,
stores
yeah.
are full.
Yeah, because like Kyoto, Yeah, it's a cool place. It's not like the place that it's not my vibe when it comes to travel, just because it's like, it's going to be so busy, so packed, and you're going to be lining up for like the fucking 10th temple that you've seen that day or something like that. And I'm just like, you know what, maybe we can skip this temple. I go somewhere, I just want some nice food.
I get it. It's not for everyone, but
It's
a lot
not
of
for
people love it,
everyone,
right?
but a lot of people love it. Yeah, like I recommend the places around Kyoto more than Kyoto itself. Kyoto's like a good base hub.
I've been to Kyoto a few times in the past 2 years. I gotta say, my enjoyment of Kyoto depended on the weather. Because,
yeah.
like,
Right.
Kyoto gets so hot.
It does.
And in the summer, it's unbearable.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even bother going to Japan.
Oh my god.
In summer. I genuinely, I tell people, I'm like, just don't come in August. You're not gonna have fun.
Yeah.
Just come between October. Just come right now. Come 3, 2, 1. Come between October and April. You have the best time.
I would mostly agree with you, except of the existence of Okinawa.
Okay, if you're going to Okinawa, but how many people are going to go to Okinawa? Like, not that many.
A lot of people.
Okay,
Maybe if you've been to Japan a few times.
Here's the thing.
Because that's where I recommend.
Tokyo sucks in the summer.
I will fully agree with Connor, because if you're gonna go to Japan to go to just Okinawa, then fucking go to a Southeast Asian country. Like, there's so many fucking beaches there. Okinawa is where we go when we live in Japan, because we don't have.
Fuck off! We colonized this island. It's ours.
Yeah, I mean, Okinawa is where
It's a
is where we go if you live in Japan to get to like a good beach, because there's not many choices when it comes to good beaches here in Japan,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
God forbid mainland
Yeah.
Japan has a good beach.
Yeah,
There's
because
some in like Shimoda and stuff.
I mean, it's,
Easy has a bunch.
I don't know. My standard of beaches is very high.
yeah,
Oh, I guess.
Yeah. So.
yeah. I don't know.
And
like,
I feel Okinawa is the only place that fits my Australian standard of beaches.
Yeah,
This man was raised in sand.
Yeah, I was raised in like some of the best beaches in the world. So
yeah, Japan doesn't have a lot of choices when it comes to beaches. Funny for an island nation, but then again, I'm from England as well, and we have the exact same problem. So, I can't
But
really
I
complain
would
about
argue that Okinawa is not only great for the beaches, but kind of very similar to Hokkaido, where like the food that you can get in Okinawa is like next level.
I've never actually been to Okinawa yet, so I can't comment.
Dude, you have
but I've
to.
only
I wanna
seen
go.
like the spam sushi, and I'm just
Okinawa, like spam sushi is like more famous one, but like there's so many like traditionalist Okinawa and Ryukyu style foods that are just so good. And I mean like the booze in Okinawa as well, like because like in Hokkaido you have Sapporo beer,
Yeah.
right, which is like you drink Sapporo beer in Hokkaido,
it's
like
Sapporo Classic,
Sapporo Classic,
which you can only get in like Hokkaido for some reason.
yeah. Whereas in Okinawa, there's a specific type of beer called an Orion beer or an Orion beer, however you want to pronounce it. And Orion beer in Sapporo, in Okinawa, is probably just as nut worthy as a Sapporo in Hokkaido. In my
Before you
opinion.
said onion beer.
Onion,
Onion.
And then you cut the onion.
cut the onion in half.
God damn it. So cursed.
Yeah, but
love
like
that
Orion. Or it's spelled Orion, but it's pronounced Orion. But, like,
Right.
Orion beer it's like a Okinawa specific beer, and that on like a summer day in Okinawa is god tier.
Okay.
It's so good. And just Okinawan food in general. If you want like a different kind of twist on Japanese food that you can't really get anywhere else, I would definitely recommend Okinawan food.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of Okinawa-based restaurants in Tokyo as well. Like there's a really good one in Ikebukuro actually, in Sunshine City. I go to quite a bit. So if you want like a different take on Japanese food, I recommend Okinawan food.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of food, a lot of people come here, or at least a lot of anime fans come here expecting to enjoy like the weeb aspect, and then pretty much everyone I talk to, they come to Japan and they're just like, I stay for the food.
Oh yeah,
the food culture
come for
here.
the anime, stay for the
yeah,
food.
yeah, right.
Please spend your money on food, not
If
on
you're
anime
gonna spend
figures.
your money on something, I know it's going to be hard walking through Akihabara and you can see some cool anime figures. Spend your money on a good meal. You will not fucking regret it.
It'll be the best meal you've probably had in your entire life.
Yeah. What kind of things do you guys recommend people try out when they're here? Not Ichiran ramen.
Ichiran. Go Ichiran.
No.
Dude, it's
go
so
to
good.
a
It's so
Go
good.
to wherever you are. Find the filthiest, grossest looking ramen place.
Yes.
Most likely, the ramen will be a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Or a
yes.
1. I mean, it's,
No, it's always a 10.
No, it's never a one. It's never a one.
The ones that
Unless
have
you go
the
to
fucking
Ichiran.
the ones that have the fucking neon signs that look really pretty on the outside, they're just covering the fact that the food is mid.
Yeah, and the thing is, it might look intimidating because obviously it looks very traditional. You don't know how to order. Most of the time, there will be a machine.
Yeah,
right?
like a ticket machine.
Like a ticket machine. And all you have to do is put your money in, and if you're having trouble, figuring out what the orders are, because there's normally only 4 ramens to choose from anyway. So
That's the good places.
yeah, those are the good places. The less choice you have on the menu, the more the better chance it's going to be that it's going to fucking bomb, because it's because that means that this family or the person running the restaurant has just
perfected their craft.
They've perfected it. They've sharpened their craft,
only.
Yeah. But most of the time you're only gonna have 3 or 4 ramens to pick from. You can use the fucking Google Translate thing, hack that life hack that we use if you're having trouble. But it's really not that intimidating at all. So you just choose your meal. Maybe you go with the gyoza as well. Maybe you order a beer with it, and then you just give your tickets to the ramen guy, and he'll give you your order. And that's pretty much it.
And it's probably be the best fucking ramen you'll ever have in your life.
Yeah, honestly, like we just said earlier, conveyor belt sushi. I actually prefer conveyor belt sushi a lot of the times to the more expensive sushi chains and sushi restaurants.
I think it depends for me. I don't mind going to the more expensive ones, maybe once or twice a year. But if I just want a consistently good sushi, then there's nothing wrong with
because
conveyor belt
there's a
sushi.
lot of places that are just lunch sets that are 2,000 yen, and you get a bunch of sushi.
No, that's true.
Because
Because,
made right in front of you.
Here's the reason why. Because with conveyor belt sushi, it's such a good value for money.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time coming to Japan and just thinking the sushi is amazing, because it fucking is amazing. I wanted to stuff myself full with as much sushi as I could eat. And you can't do that with expensive chains.
To be
That's true.
fair, I prefer the ones where they're conveyor belts, but you order and then it comes out on the conveyor belt. 'Cause then you at
That's
least-
most places now.
Yeah, that's most
Yeah, I know.
places.
There are still some that have the rotating ones.
Oh, yeah,
And it's
of
just
course.
I would rather have the fresh, fully prepared one.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah. Yeah, so with a lot of conveyor belt brands or places that you go to, they'll have a system where some of them will literally be automated, where they'll have a plate that gets shot to you on a fucking
And the
train
best
or
thing
bullet
is
train or
usually
something.
it's usually shaped like a bullet train.
right,
It's
right.
so thematically
It's fucking cool. It's so
Yeah.
cool. It's so cool. And I to this day I still eat as much conveyor belt sushi as I can, because I think it's fucking amazing, and I love stuffing myself full with sushi, and I can't do that at more expensive restaurants. I mean, sushi's good, but at the end of the day, it's just fish, rice, and wasabi, right? It's fish, rice, and wasabi, and
I also think you should try the foreign food here. Try to see what their takes are on foreign food. It's quite interesting.
yeah.
They do some really good foreign food here.
Yeah.
I think you'd be surprised.
Italian food especially. I
Italian
feel.
food's really good here.
Yeah.
Some good, really good burger
it's
chains.
different from Italian food in Europe.
It's really good though. Imagine that some restaurants combine the techniques of Italian chefs, but use Japanese ingredients, which can be really fucking impressive. It's maybe not the most authentic thing, but you'll get something new. Especially the fish here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Definitely.
Fish dishes in Japan and Italian food are next fucking level.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Holy
Definitely.
shit.
The
Dude.
best kind of fusion.
Oh, so good.
What do you think about them trying Wagyu beef?
Yeah, try it. I mean,
Well, the thing is, there's so many different types of Wagyu.
when you've lived here long enough, I feel like you kind of go off Wagyu.
Yeah.
You're like, I kind of want more meat than fat.
Yeah.
But the first time you have it, it is like a fucking what the fuck? This
It
is
is
amazing.
an explosion in your mouth
Yeah.
of
that.
flavor.
It's Food Wars. It's based
Yeah.
on Wagyu.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm not
Yeah.
eating Wagyu. His mouth is just like, ah!
Where's the best place to get Wagyu if you don't know what you're looking for though?
That's really hard to
Yeah.
say.
Go
It's a
anywhere
lot.
in Kobe, I guess, and just get Kobe beef there.
Well, let's assume
Like
let's
every
assume-
single prefecture in Japan is like, we have our own beef that is just
Yeah.
as good. And
I think
genuinely can't tell the difference.
Hidagyu in Takayama is probably the best type of Wagyu I've had.
Right.
Kobe beef is it's good, but it's so fatty at times where you're just oh my god, I
you
don't know
just-
if I'm eating a piece of fat or not.
Yeah, you're just eating butter basically.
Yeah, basically. You're just
Americans,
eating a
you'd
stick of
love
butter.
that. You'd love that, right?
Yeah.
What
Americans
if you
love
go
that.
to something like teppanyaki, you always get you can always get Wagyu. They always,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teppanyaki's pretty good.
It also just depends
Don't-
on how it's prepared as well, a lot of
Yeah.
the times. But what I really like about Hidagyu, for example, is that they literally just put a bunch cubes of it basically just on a stick, put it on top of a fire, just put some salt and pepper on that bitch, and boom, it's the best fucking food you'll ever have. And they sell it as street food.
I mean, Chris's favorite food, yakitori as well.
Yakitori is good.
Can't go wrong.
Again,
Can't go wrong.
do you feel like the best types of yakitori are the all-you-can-eat ones, or do you think they should go to a more traditional yakitori
I
place?
think both are pretty good. I think if it's the first time you're experiencing that, you're probably not going to be able to taste the difference. I think the only ones who are like, only opt to go to like, say, the more traditionalist ones
Yeah.
are the ones who have just had so much fucking torikizoku that they're just like, all right, let me just try and be,
If
Yeah.
you really want to try those kind of places, though, you really need to learn the names, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Like,
because a lot of those places don't have a menu.
No, they don't.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because
That's true.
you just walk up. It's literally just a counter and a dude standing there just infinitely cooking chicken, and you just have to say the
Just say negima. That's the best one.
Negima's the best one.
Negima's the
love
hands
negima.
down. It's the OG.
Yeah, it's
so
just
fucking good.
chicken with some leek.
Oh, I fucking love leek, dude.
So
Why is
good.
leek so good? It's the layers, dude. They taste so good.
And Japan does negi-based food so well.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
really,
just-
really
just
good.
I can just plow down on like 50 like negimas. Dude.
Yeah.
I go to. Chris always wants the tsukune. I think tsukune is just.
I
awful.
love tsukune.
Oh, the meatballs.
Yeah. I
Tsukune's
love
good.
it. I love it.
Like why bastardize this chicken, dude? Just
What
give
do
me
you
the
mean
negima.
bastardize the chicken?
Just rip it apart and shove
what
it
are
back
you- what are you
together.
talking about?
Just grind it apart and make it into a ball.
That's great.
It's just like
It's
nah,
the only
dude.
time I will accept boneless chicken.
Oh
It's,
my
in
fucking
tsukune.
God. What fucking ground chicken? The reason why I don't like it right, is because like it's almost like negima is the perfect balance between meat and veg, right? You get one bite of chicken and veg, right? It's
Yeah.
perfect. Tsukune is just pure like just ground meat, and I'm like, this is just too much.
But like I like that because it more evenly spreads the seasoning, right? Because it's seasoned in the ground meat, right?
I mean, I kind of want a variation, you know. I don't want a
Well, that's the great thing about yakitori, right? It's different strokes for
Yeah,
different
yeah.
folks. There's so many different types of
we don't need to
yakitori.
argue about this because we can just order our own.
There's a bunch of
our
really
own
like
sticks.
calorific ones. There's like ones where they'll be like, it's meat filled with cheese.
Pork belly. I highly recommend pork belly
Oh,
as
pork
well.
belly's good
If
as well.
if
What's
it's
pork belly
ever,
called again in Japanese?
Kakuni.
Oh, kakuni, yeah, that's right.
Kakuni is really good.
yeah.
I like kakuni.
Yeah, I mean that's the like again that's what I order if I don't want to have something like Wagyu beef, but you still want that like explosion of
Yeah.
like flavor in your mouth. Like
It's like that perfect cube of like pork belly and fat, right?
I'm getting fucking hungry
I know.
now.
I really want
like now that we're just talking
Can we
about
go
this.
to the Torikizoku after this, dude? Like, I'm ready to smash down some yakitori's, dude.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
trying.
getting hungry.
Yeah.
I've been very hungry this entire.
What would you say then is the most underrated Japanese food for people to try when they come to Japan, right? Because like obviously everyone knows that they're gonna go to a sushi place, they're gonna go to like an izakaya, but like
The one that no one ever talks about, unagi. Unagi's like the boss, dude.
I was going to
Eel.
say unagi as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, please try unagi.
It is
when you come here.
expensive. It is expensive.
It is expensive.
But it's worth.
It's an
But-
experience. It's
Okay,
changed
because
my
like
life.
I remember explaining to my mom how I'm like really into unagi, but I had to explain to her that it's eel, right?
Yeah.
She's like, ugh.
Yeah, people
Why'd
don't-
you
yeah,
like eel?
yeah.
Well, that's disgusting, and that's because like her perception of eating eel is like
Slimy,
jellied eels.
long-
from,
Oh,
like, the
yeah,
UK.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like, my god, like living in the UK has like ruined your perception of this
it's-
fucking S tier food.
So it's like the way it's prepared is that it's grilled and then it's like smoked, I think, as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's not slimy. It's just like kind of like, you know, when you grill a fish and it's kind of like nice and crumbly and dry and then the way they season and sauce this bad boy.
But it's not dry. That's the thing. It's,
not.
like
It's like-
somehow
yeah,
moist.
It's
Yeah.
moist. It's good. It just
It
flakes
has like
apart.
it
It's
has
so good.
like the
good.
consistency of like fish, like
Yeah.
And it's
like
healthy,
a perfectly good like flavorful moist
So
fish.
good, dude.
You
know?
put that on a bed of rice.
At the
You're
like
good.
at the like
hungry.
there's some really cheap places you can get it, but I'd say the places that cost around 2,000 to 3,000 yen for a box are probably like the places where you'll get some really good ones.
Yeah.
And I've gone to places where they charge like 7,000 yen, $70 for just
I've
one.
gone to places where it's like $100 for one.
Yeah.
And
It's-
it's
it's
like
good.
it's
It's
like
good.
damn, it's good.
Can
but
you
like,
tell the difference in the taste though?
Yeah, it's weird, man. With unagi, it's like I feel like the subtleness of the flavors, especially the fish.
Yeah.
When you get it cheap, it's so harsh. The flavor of the unagi. Whereas like the good ones, the sauce is kind of light. The
Yeah.
fish, the eel is just really. Oh, I don't know how to describe it. Fuck, it's I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
know what you mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
How
It's,
would you
it's like,
describe
it's like I don't know. It kind of like
The skin also, the texture of the skin on the cheap places is like really
rough.
Yeah, rough and
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you're eating something fishy. Whereas normally when it's good unagi, it doesn't feel like you're eating fish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like you're eating meat.
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
like the
it's so
weirdest
good.
comparison.
So
but
good.
Yeah, it's like a meaty fishy kind of. It's like
a meat and fish combo, but
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
best way imaginable.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah.
You have to try.
Do you ever get
unagi.
like Uber Eats unagi at all?
I've had it a bunch. It's generally at meh.
yeah.
I'd say
You got to go to a
But
restaurant.
if you're in Japan, you're probably not getting Uber Eats. So don't worry about it.
Don't waste your time with Uber Eats.
I will say that sometimes that if it's a nice unagi place, you might have to reserve. Unagi takes a while to cook.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of places, especially if you're out
Especially
in
in the
countryside.
summer.
Summer, yeah, because it's a summer food primarily, but you can get it in winter. It's still good.
Yep.
Yeah.
The places in the countryside outside of Tokyo normally always have to call in advance
Yeah.
and tell them that you're coming or
Yeah.
that you want to book because it takes, I think, at least an hour or two to cook it.
Yeah.
Because it's smoked and stuff, so it takes a while. But it's really, really good. Really, really recommend it.
Yeah.
And people don't really talk about it because people don't like the idea of eels.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
always hyping it up though. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess for me, if I can't say unagi, if you are going to like a more expensive seafood place, I really like uni.
Uni.
Yeah.
Sea
yeah.
urchin?
Sea urchin. I know Connor hates it, but uni has like really grown on me since I've moved to Japan.
Yeah,
like
dude,
really, really
fuck
grown on
yeah.
me. I just like okay, you know
It's
how
my favorite.
you know they say like if you take a seashell with you and you put your ear against it, then you can hear the ocean, you can hear the sea. To me, eating uni is like eating the sea. It's like tasting the sea.
It's like if the sea had poop and you ate it, it would be. uni.
if the sea,
But
if,
like the best flavored poop.
if that is sea
Try it,
poop,
try it.
I guess I'm about
then
to.
I'm a shit eater.
I guess I'm about to play Euphoria all over again, baby,
Oh,
because
God.
I am a sea-eating poop
God.
lover.
If you know what it is, it's on screen right now. It's this orange-looking paste thingy. You'll recognize it because it always stands out in the sushi. Thing. It looks like one of these things is not like the other.
But it's so refreshing and it's so.
So
You'll know which
creamy.
camp you're in.
It's
When you try it, please let me know.
To be
Or
fair,
let them know
I
which one
think
you're in.
I think out of like the almost like maybe 10 to 20 people that I've taken to a sushi place and they've tried uni, I think like 75% of them ended up liking it.
yeah.
What?
I think
Yeah.
it's like most people I think are very thrown off with how it looks.
I spoke to Didus and Emily, and they were like, they were like, let's go to a sushi place. I was like, sure. And they were like, the one place I don't want to go is if they have too much uni. And I was like, don't worry. I hate uni too. Yes.
No, it's so
I hate
good.
uni.
No
Uni
taste.
sucks, dude.
No taste.
No taste. But no, yeah, like I really, really like uni, and even if you don't like it, I recommend you try it out because
Try it out.
it's a very unique
have.
flavor. It's very refreshing. It's nothing. It's nowhere on the same level as like something like fucking natto or something like that, where it's like weird foods. It's a very subtle flavor.
Subtle. It's like
think
it's
it's
like a
subtle.
bomb going off in your
No,
mouth.
No, it's what?
subtle.
No, it's like refreshing. It's like eating the ocean.
It's like a salty, creamy type of like nice flavor that goes.
Yeah,
down.
yeah. And it's so weird because you look at a sea urchin and you're just like, how the fuck can anything edible come out of that?
Yeah.
It's
So it's like,
disgusting.
what the hell is this?
And then you crack it open, gold, gold of the ocean.
Oh.
Okay, I would probably recommend then what Japan does really fucking well. When we think of meat-based foods in Japan, most people are pretty quick to go like Wagyu and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I think though like Tonkatsu in Japan
Oh yeah.
is god tier,
Fucking
which
hell
is
yeah.
fried, no, not fried, but deep, like pork cutlet.
Pork cutlet.
Dude, if you ever go to Gunma, holy shit, these things are like,
Yeah.
they look like they're fighting back. These things are thick pieces of pork. It's
Yeah.
so good though.
There's this really good chain in Tokyo that I love going to called Maisen.
Yeah.
There's
Oh, my scent. Dude,
Maisen is god tier. I took you there, right?
it's
Yeah,
so good.
I took
It's
Connor
like,
there.
it's like 40
like-
bucks though, but like, holy fuck,
But
it's
it is
worth
the best pork color you'll ever have.
Oh,
like-
can we stop recording? I just gotta order some food. Man. I'm fucking,
I want to go to Maisen, dude.
I'm so fucking hungry. Like pork.
me acting up, dude.
Yeah, pork cutlet. Like there's nothing that can beat like a fresh pork cutlet.
Oh,
And
when
it's
I'm
just,
hungover, it's my go-to.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like
Especially when it has the egg. Fuck.
Yeah.
like the texture is just godly. You bite in and it's all crispy, and then you get the rich inside.
Yeah.
It's nice and juicy. Oh my
Just fuck me up. Just
God.
fuck me
And
up.
you can
Oh
you can
my
have it by
God.
itself, or there's another really like cool way to eat it, which I like, which is katsudon,
Yeah,
which
I
is
like-
like where you like put it in egg and like have some onions and you
Katsudon's
put
my
that on a bed of
favorite.
rice. Yeah, katsudon
Katsudon's
I'm
is
my-
not a fan of katsudon.
Really?
Because it's like to me,
What?
part of my like one of my favorite things about tonkatsu is the texture, right? But when you put it under egg, it just like it gets rid of that crunch to it. It's
No,
like,
but like it's
I
re-
think-
but
I
that's
think-
replaced with the fucking amazing like egg and like pork flavor.
like
I,
the
I
crunch.
think all that
like
uni
the
turns your
crunch.
brain to goop, bro.
No,
What the
don't
fuck
put-
are
no,
you-
don't
what
put them in the
fuck
same
are you
category.
talking about, bro? What the
Like it's that crunch, it's that fresh crunch that just it's just godly. And by putting egg over
if
it,
you get a fresh one, you can get like the crunch with the egg and
Yeah.
the sauce and the.
You have the katsudon at Maisen, dude. It has the crunch.
Oh, I can't believe you just.
tell you
said
what it
that.
is.
I can't believe you.
tell you
just
what
said
tell you
that,
what it
dude.
is. It's like putting milk in your cereal,
No,
right?
fuck.
It's like I
you get
prefer-
rid,
I
you get
prefer
rid of the
katsudon.
texture. I like that crunch. I like that
think
fresh crunch.
Katsudon is better than normal just katsu because you get the egg and the onions are a game changer. But with the rice, because when you get the perfect ratio of meat, egg, rice, and onions in one bite, it's like Food Wars level
I'm
of like
so
not
hungry.
good. It's the best. I don't know what Garnt's talking. Garnt's a little baby though. Garnt's like, dude. Garnt asks questions like, "Do you peel your crayons before you eat it?" Like that's what like don't trust Garnt with his opinions.
I mean, it's a preference thing. It's a preference.
Of
thing.
course.
To me, the best thing about tonkatsu
Yeah, it's
is that
preference to eat shit,
Is that
Garnt, and that's
fucking
what you
flavor.
do.
No.
No, he's got good taste because he likes uni and natto. All right.
You want to side with a guy who says all bread tastes the same?
No,
Alright,
but
alright.
I will agree. Uni and natto is godlike. right?
They're fucking godlike.
Yeah, but again, like I would like to argue there is so much more to Japanese cuisine than sushi and wagyu. Like, yeah, go ahead, eat the sushi and,
ramen.
wagyu and ramen, right?
Yeah.
All fucking amazing. But if you go out there and try out some other like lesser known stuff, and there's like we only just fucking scratch the surface. There is plenty of other stuff as well.
Okonomiyaki, maybe you're like
Oh
that.
fuck! I fuck with okonomiyaki.
I fuck with okonomiyaki, you know, takoyaki as well. You know, it kind of chooses. You know, some people really like it, some people don't.
There's some really nice restaurants actually that do it that are like really good price.
Yeah.
I mean, it's street food, right? But there are some restaurants that do it amazingly.
But
and
if
get it
you're
at
gonna
the
have
table.
some of the best okonomiyaki and takoyaki, especially, you got to go to Osaka.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, Osaka does
fuck,
it the
okonomiyaki.
best.
The okonomiyaki. At
The best
Osaka.
okonomiyaki I had was in
Dude.
Osaka in like this like really shitty downtown mom and pop shop
Yeah.
where it's like
of course.
5 people could fit in it and it was
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
Well, the thing is, it's just like I feel like the rule with Asian food is that if you buy it on the streets or if it looks fucking dirty, that food is gonna fucking be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And that rule is also consistent in Japan as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the opportunity to buy street food, it's normally fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I've got a question. What about Conbini food? Where does that come into this?
Conbini food.
Conbini food is an experience I think that's really fun for the first couple of days.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're gonna want to save some money and spend some money on restaurants.
Yeah.
But I'd say, yeah, you could definitely got to
Yeah.
try. out some
Conbini
of the
food's
selection.
still great compared to everywhere else
Right,
because I'm like
Compared to the rest of the world, definitely.
compared to the restaurant because
Yeah.
like I'm remembering when I first came to Japan, I'm just like, damn, I can live out of 7-Eleven and Family Mart for
did.
my entire life, and I
had a
did
few
for like
days.
a good few months and didn't get bored.
You guys lived off Conbini like onigiri and sandwiches for
Yeah,
a good while.
because like compared to like the food we have at like fucking Tesco's or whatever, it's like
Oh,
god
well,
tier.
fuck right off. Yeah, fuck right
I'm
off.
gonna say it,
The
Connor.
Tesco meal
I'm going
deal
to
is
say
better.
it. I'm going to fucking
You're
say
actually,
it.
no, okay, listen, right. These sandwiches are good. They're decent, but these sandwiches aren't better than the ones at the
Well,
Tesco
I'm
meal
reserving
deal.
my judgment. I still have yet to try a Tesco meal deal.
I know for a
But
fact you're
I know
gonna.
when we go to the UK for Garnt's wedding later, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it out and I'll see which side I'm on.
He's pretty scared because I know for a fact you're gonna like the Tesco meal deal more.
Okay.
But like comparing Tesco food to fucking Conbini food, it's nowhere near. It's
Bro, the
nowhere
sandwiches.
near.
Okay, first of all, Joe, here's what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
First of all, sandwiches actually have crust on them.
Okay, that already wins.
All right, what do you want? What do you want if you don't want a sandwich?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying the sandwiches are better, right? And this,
Okay, that's not an argument. I'm saying Conbini food in general. What do you want? What do you want if you want a Tesco meal deal but you don't want a sandwich?
Get a salad. It's all right. It's decent. It's not great.
I'm not going to
You get a
Conbini to get a
pasty.
fucking salad,
Get a
dude.
pasty if you want. Pasties are
It's
decent.
a cold pasty. A cold pasty.
Deviled eggs?
No.
Deviled eggs?
No.
Deviled eggs? You're a big deviled eggs fan?
What's that?
Oh, it's like a pork ball with batter, egg. No, egg in the middle. Oh, God.
You gotta
Oh, far
compare
out.
that to like fucking
Listen.
good
Okay.
fried
No, no,
chicken.
yeah, the other
You
stuff
got-
is better. But
you
the
got-
sandwich game is absolutely appalling in Japan. I still like them,
Yeah.
but the UK sandwiches are like, it's like...
Oh,
chicken.
yeah.
Well, but
I
like
mean-
the sandwich, there's the sandwich in Conbini's section is like
Also-
one
also-
tiny section compared to like
Also, why is
literally
there no
the
meal deal in
Huh?
Japan? What's up with that? Why is there no meal deal? Why is there no drink? Get your own tea, get a sandwich, and a little snack.
Because you have an infinite amount of choice at a Conbini.
Yeah.
It's
Like-
just
I don't know.
called going to the
I-
food section at a Conbini.
Also, I don't like in Japan how it's really hard to get a normal sized bag of crisps. Like they're all big sized, right? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
It's like you
You-
can't.
you're
just
talking
have-
about like the small.
You can't just have like
these
one
ones, right?
portion of,
Yeah.
of crisps. It's like you're committing to like 3 bags.
Yeah.
Which
To be
is
fair, though, like when you do buy the big ones though, like 60% of it is air, which is probably the equivalent to like one
Yeah.
small size bag of chips. So
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like especially if you come from England, I think Connor's romanticized Tesco meal deals a lot
Absolutely not. They're
because you
amazing.
got
They're
these
fantastic.
sandwiches, and if you go to Conbini, you also have sandwiches, but you also have onigiri, fried chicken. You have some yakitori
Bentos.
sticks. You got bentos.
I don't fuck with the yakitori sticks at Conbini's. I wouldn't get them.
You won't get them.
Stick-
Well, you
stick to
get
the
like
fried
you
chicken.
get like
you
beef
got fried
bowl.
chicken.
Yeah, beef
I've
bowls
had
as
the
well.
sausages there before.
did you get food poisoning from them?
I did not. I've had the 7-Eleven like not corn dogs, the ones like just hot dogs on a stick.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's
The
decent.
corn dogs at 7-Eleven are kind of all right.
No,
I've
they're
never
alright.
had one.
I
There's-
like
there's-
corn dogs though.
It's hard to fuck up a corn dog.
If you go to a mini stop, which you won't see often, they have soft serve.
They are the
which is-
Yeah,
rarest.
yeah.
Oh,
Bomb.
the mini stop soft serves are godlike.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they specialize in soft serve, and it goes hard.
But like mini stops are like the SSRs of
Yeah,
Conbinis
that's
very
because
hard.
I think
Yeah.
in Tokyo, I think it's only like 0.5% of Conbinis in Tokyo are mini stops.
Most of them I feel like are around like Shinjuku. Weirdly, I see a lot
Yeah?
in Shinjuku. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know there's one like up north where I used to live, but that was very rare.
they're good though.
I was
They're
very
good.
happy I lived near a mini stop. I was like, oh yes, I pulled the SSR. Let's go, baby.
But I mean,
Hell
there's so
yeah.
much. There's so you're spoiled for choice with food, and
Yeah.
however much you want to spend, you can spend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we've gotten a lot of the basic things out of the way of like your first visit to Japan. What if someone has a little bit more time and has been to Japan a few times? Where would you guys recommend that they go to?
Well, I mean, we did the Shimanami Kaido, which is on the cycling special. right?
Honestly,
Seto Naikai, like that inland sea area,
Yeah.
is fucking
Beautiful.
gorgeous.
fucking incredible. And I've really, since the cycling special, I really want to go back there. Like, I really want to go back there and do the route again. Basically, just look at just look at the cycling special and just look how fucking beautiful
Yeah.
it was.
Because
right?
not the best thing about it is that like you have all of like Hiroshima that's near there.
Yeah.
You have right next to that there's a prefecture called Okayama.
Yeah.
Where I went there for a video. There's this like little small town called Kurashiki, which is like this really fucking cool retro style town.
Yeah.
That's just basically just like this hill that overlooks the inland sea, and
Yeah.
it's so fucking gorgeous. And then if you want to cross that inland sea and go to like Shikoku. You have places like Ehime, which is really like kind of down to earth and like kind of chill.
Yeah.
Shikoku's okay.
Yeah.
Shikoku's okay. Not the
There's
most.
not
It's not
much
the
to
most
do.
exciting
Most-
thing, but like if you're a little
Kochi's
bored of
alright.
if you're a little bored of like the kind of whole city life of Tokyo and stuff like that in the main cities, that's really really nice.
Yeah, and if watching the cycling special kind of like intimidated you, don't worry, you don't need to do the entire route in a day. If I was to do it again, I would definitely not do it in a day.
You can also rent a car and just drive across.
You
it.
can also rent a car, but if you also want to keep healthy, keep work out those muscles, then I do actually highly recommend the cycling route. I highly recommend you doing that in 2 days, maybe 3 days. Now that you think back, what do you think is like the optimal time you would recommend
I would do
for
it
that
in a
route?
day.
You would still do it in a day?
Yeah.
I reckon if I didn't want to be hurting, I'd say at least 2 days.
I
least
think it
2
was just
days?
annoying because we were filming. I think it would have been pretty fun if I could just power on.
There's
to
a
it.
couple of like the islands in between where, admittedly, there isn't a whole lot going on, but like
Yeah.
the first couple of islands, that's like closer to like Hiroshima. There's like still a really like cool like town vibe to it, and there's like a lot of like cool beaches there as well. So if you go there during the summer, there's some genuinely nice beaches there.
Depends how fit you are, I guess. If you really aren't fit at all, I wouldn't.
Yeah, maybe just stick to the first island.
Yeah.
But if you're somewhat active and you'll have no problem cycling, then I'd just do it all in one day. It's
Yeah.
very.
You can also
very
just
doable.
cycle around Hiroshima as well.
Yeah. I mean,
It's also
honestly,
really
it's
nice.
like some of the most beautiful views I've had in Japan.
Yeah,
I'm
really
not
nice.
saying a lot because a lot of Japan is photogenic as fuck. So it's a bit unfair. I mean, I guess sticking on that vein, if you want to go see Mount Fuji, I do recommend going to one of the lakes around there. I can't remember the name exactly, but
there's
like
so
Kawaguchiko.
Kawaguchiko,
Yeah, Kawaguchiko, there's a
like
bunch.
Lake Kawaguchiko is just like you can also cycle around there. You can rent a bike. Me and Sydney have gone on a date where we've rented a bike and just cycled around the entire lake. It's kind of unfair where you go to a place and everything looks photoshopped, even though it's real. Like you take a picture there We've taken a bunch of pictures there. I don't know. When was the last time we went there? Was the
we went camping, right?
when we went camping.
Yeah.
And Luke took a bunch of pictures, and we took a bunch of pictures, and everyone took a bunch of pictures. And
get a picture.
And
I get a picture.
no matter what, it was impossible to take a bad picture at that place.
It just looked
Yeah.
like a postcard.
Especially when it's clear.
Yeah.
Which
You
it
get
was
lucky.
when
Yeah,
we
you
went.
get
We
really
got
lucky.
very lucky.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, I don't know, because like I remember when we did the journey across Japan too to Mount Fuji.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought that by the end of it we had just like green screened ourselves in front of it because it just looked that good.
It's so weird being in that place, and you just like, I literally look like, I literally feel like I'm looking at a green screen, or like this is a screensaver right
Like a
now.
desktop wallpaper.
I'm looking at a screensaver.
I'm
right
waiting for
now.
the pipes animation to start.
It's so surreal that a place can look that photogenic, but just exist in real life without any plugins or any Photoshop edits.
No
Well,
RTX on.
No, no RTX on.
We'll
Yeah.
say it's probably one of the places you might want to drive, though. It's
Yeah.
kind of annoying to go by train and stuff.
Yeah, there isn't a whole lot of I'd say like outside of the major cities like Osaka, Tokyo, Sapporo, and stuff like that. It's
Driving is
driving
essential.
is your best friend.
You literally
Yeah.
you'll have such a hard time if you're trying to do it by public transport, as I'm
Yeah.
sure Garnt probably is experienced, because you
Yeah.
mainly do it all by public transport. right?
Yeah. Actually, on that vein, I guess an app I highly recommend is the app that we use is Didi, which there is like a few taxi apps in Japan. Didi,
Taxi.
there's Go Taxi, but Didi is the most, I guess, foreigner friendly because you can.
It's all English.
It's all English, so
Except any card.
yeah, it'll accept any card. With other apps, it's been really finicky with the types of cards that it
Oh
will
my
accept.
God. Japan Taxi and Go Taxi, whatever it is now. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
It is.
I have a Japanese card and it just keeps denying it. I just
Yeah,
don't-
yeah.
really?
I have a Japanese
So
card.
annoying.
It denies it. I have a.
So annoying.
I have a foreign card. It denies it. I have like cards from like Thailand and the UK, and it's just like it doesn't want to accept anything. It doesn't want to accept anything. So I don't know what card it will accept. So yeah, I like highly recommend Didi over Uber here. Would you say so? Because Uber.
yeah, I know you can use Uber if you want
Yeah,
to.
you
I
can
mean,
use
they
Uber,
all work.
but I
That's
think
whatever you're comfortable with.
yeah, I think Didi is. I think there's more taxis on Didi. Yeah, and it's the best in between because Didi is not as popular as a Japanese app like Go Taxi, but it is still way more friendly if you.
Unfortunately,
don't
Uber's
speak
just not
Japanese.
really a thing here.
No,
Uber Eats
Uber
is.
Eats is.
Uber Eats is, but like the actual Uber service
I know
is not.
some people who use it religiously.
Yeah.
But mainly for food, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, hailing cabs is really, really easy here.
Especially in Tokyo.
If
Yeah.
if you're confident enough in just telling them where to go, it's really, really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a big if.
Yeah.
I understand it's a tall.
But
tall
I
thing to
think for the most part, if you're in Tokyo, the train system is just so convenient. You probably
Google Maps.
very rarely will have to
Don't
use a
try
taxi.
to learn the maps. Just use Google Maps.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
It
Just
routes it out for you.
follow
And
the
anyone
colors.
who
Follow
says
the
they know
pretty
a better
colors.
route is absolutely lying. Google literally knows the best route. I wish that people would shut up being like, I know the streets better. It's like, no, you don't. Google has every fucking satellite in existence and billions of data. It knows where to
To
go.
be fair, there has been times where I've looked at Google and I'm like, nah, dude, you're going like the aesthetic route.
Sometimes Google wants to like make your life easier to a point where it's like, listen, it's just quicker if I just walk here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we were going to make it so you don't walk. And it's like, yeah, but generally, if you want to get
Instead,
to
you're going to have to change 3 different trains.
if you want to get
Right.
A to Z, Google will generally tell you the
Yeah.
best way, and you can
Yeah.
tell it to do fewer changes or more changes.
Yeah.
It's never failed me in Tokyo,
Yeah.
even outside of Tokyo. Driving, I use it for driving. I use it. I bought one of those shitty little things on Amazon that you stick on like the air fans.
Oh, yeah.
Hold my phone.
Hold your phone,
It's
yeah.
Gucci, man.
Yeah, it's
I'm
good.
I'm good.
Is there any other places you guys would recommend that are a bit out of the box?
I've never been to Kyushu. What do you think, Joey? Is it good?
Kyushu's great.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think Kyushu is underrated as hell.
Yeah.
One place I really, really liked in Kyushu was Kumamoto.
Yeah. The Kumamoto.
Yeah, where ASO is, the volcano, Mount Aso is.
Yeah.
But like, I think Kumamoto is really cool because it's again this like huge like volcanic caldera, but it's also like it weirdly reminds me a lot of like the kind of like plain, open plain places that I went to a lot in like Australia and like in England and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like Japan.
Right.
And it's so weird, but like it's really, really cool. If you like your like kind of mountainous areas, it's really dope. And also you're really close to like Nagasaki as well, which is a really dope city. Nagasaki is a super cool city. That's like very like vintage feel. It has like a very European feel as well because like a lot of like European settlers came in and out of Nagasaki. Yeah, I don't know. Kyushu I think is really underrated. Has some really good food as well.
I've always wanted to go.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully
really
at
cool.
some
Yeah, I still haven't been to Kyushu as well.
You can go to Oita as well, which has the other really massive onsen area.
I've heard Oita and
as well.
Beppu.
Yeah, Beppu.
I really wanna go.
Beppu's a really cool onsen place as well. So
Got to fly there. I wouldn't recommend taking the bullet train.
You can take the bullet
It's
train
like
to
10 hours
Hakata,
though,
but it's
right?
like 7 or 8 hours
Oh my
from
God.
Tokyo. So
I didn't know it was that far.
yeah,
far.
it's
Yeah.
very far. I mean, to Hiroshima, it's like 5 hours, right?
And it
Oh, yeah,
stops
that's
for
true.
lunch.
And that's not even in Kyushu. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess one place that I don't really hear people talking about is obviously, like, if you're a wine lover, like me and Sydney are, you can go to the wine capital of Japan, even though, like, wine's not as well known here. But, I mean, we discovered the place because we're not, like, I'm not a big sake fan. You know, I'm not a massive sake fan, but there are plenty of places to try sake in Tokyo and basically anywhere you go into Japan. But if you want to have a little taste of the Japanese wine culture here, because it's not very well talked about, you go to Kyushu Valley. It's in the Yamanashi prefecture, which is like you can literally make it a day trip if you wanted to. It's like just about like an hour and a half out of Tokyo. You can literally just go on the JR line and go to the stops around Kyushu Valley. There is one place I do recommend if you are interested. I believe the building is called Budo no Oka, I think.
Budo no Oka?
Yeah.
Grape Hill.
Yeah, Grape Hill.
It's literally Grape Hill.
I believe that's the place because that's the place I've talked about before where you can go in and they have a wine cellar with about 100 different wines. You pay $13 and you can try as many wines as you like. And that's
self-pour.
It's self-pour. They give you a little cup. And you can try as many wines as you like. There's little bowls where you can spit out the wine if you don't like the taste of the wine, you know. And
Basically, it's just $13 to get munted on wine.
yeah, I've done it. I've done it plenty of fucking times. It's a
Jesus.
really, really good experience. And then there's a really nice restaurant up there where you can see the entire view of Kyushu Valley and you can see all the grape farms and all the grapevines.
Yeah.
It's,
That's cool.
It's
That
got
doesn't look like Japan.
Yeah, it's got such a good fucking view. And me and Sydney going there for a yearly trip to try out the different wines there that come out every year.
Yeah, you can. I think I drove there. There's decent parking.
But if you do like sake, I would recommend Niigata.
Niigata. Yes.
Niigata
yes.
is like the capital of sake
there
and
recently,
like
yeah.
rice fields and stuff.
Yeah.
And I went to a similar thing like to the wine
Vending
thing,
machines?
Yeah.
except it was all sake for like $20, and
it
you
the
could like
vending
taste
machine?
test. Yeah, the vending
Yeah.
machines.
Yeah.
There's two
And-
stations that have it.
Yeah. It's basically like all throughout Niigata. It's just like all really, really nice like sake based stuff. So
Chris
if you like,
dragged me to it.
if you like sake, go to Niigata. If you like wine, go to Yamanashi.
But also in the Niigata vending machines, there's also umeshu, plum wine.
Oh yeah,
Really good.
They do really good.
Because
plum
I
wine.
don't like sake, so I always go to the umeshu, which is
Yeah.
like it's like nectar of the gods. It's wonderful. It's just like sugary goodness. Oh, it's so good.
It's very good.
It's so
Yeah.
bad for you though. It's like 100% sugar.
Fortunately, umeshu is a bit too sweet for my palate. Otherwise, I probably would like.
I couldn't
like a
drink
bit
it
more.
straight, but like you mix it with
Soda?
something like
Oh,
soda.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Niigata is pretty. I've been there a bunch. It's okay. There's not really much to do there, but the vending machine is sick.
Yeah.
But there are ski resorts near it. So in the
Yeah.
winter, if you're coming, you
Go to
can ski.
Miyoko, which is a really
Very popular.
decent
Yeah.
ski resort.
And I mean, Tohoku area in general, no one really goes to, but it's pretty chill. I've been there a ton, obviously, with Chris. I'm sure you have as well.
Yeah, I love. I mean,
Tohoku's
my
fun.
family's from Tohoku.
Yeah, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Sendai's chill.
Yeah, Sendai's dope.
Yamagata's fun.
Iwate is
Go,
fun
go
as well.
visit the Abroad in Japan
Yeah.
studio, of
Oh
course.
my God. Yeah, go and raid his area. I mean, docs Chris is abroad.
Morioka is really fun in Iwate, which
Yeah,
is
Morioka's
which is
chill.
above Sendai.
Morioka's
Yeah.
That
chill.
one's really fun.
Yeah.
Fukushima, obviously, is
Oh.
fun. We've been there a bunch.
Yeah.
Fukushima. Yeah.
We
that
went
was-
drifting in Fukushima.
Yeah, we went drifting there.
A lot of cool areas in the north that doesn't really ever get spoken about as a tourist destination.
Yeah, I think it's because Tohoku is just so big. Like
It's
a
really
lot of
big.
the biggest, like I mean, I think Iwate is the second biggest prefecture after Hokkaido.
It's a cool
so-
place there. I've had some
Really
really
cool
amazing
place.
food and drink in that area, and it's just kind of nice to go somewhere because, especially if like Kyoto's too touristy for you,
Yeah.
definitely Tohoku is not,
Oh, yeah.
not going to have tourists.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's a good time.
Way
I've
chill.
always had fun with Chris though.
Yeah, because I mean, like, especially like one of the big things about Kyoto is that it's just like too crowded, and you can get.
It's crowded even now, and I don't.
Is it crowded now?
It's sort of crowded. I mean, I don't know. Some seasons I've been, it's been dead. It depends on the day you go. Obviously, weekdays it's dead.
Yeah.
But on some weekends it's still busy. So I'm like, God forbid, I come here on a like peak tourist season.
Is there like a prefecture or like area of Japan you've always wanted to go to but you haven't been yet?
Kyushu. I always want to go to
Kyushu.
I really still haven't been to and really want to go to Aomori.
Oh, I want to go to
okay.
Aomori
Yeah.
too. Because it's in between Hokkaido and the
Yeah.
like
Sendai.
Ryokans.
Yeah.
And I'm just
It's
like, why would I not just go to Hokkaido at that point?
No.
Yeah.
But like Aomori has like really cool, like you can do like apple picking
Apples,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Apples is what they're famous
Apples
for.
is what they're
Yeah.
famous for.
Eat
Really
your
good
apples.
food, like really nice like winter wonderland place as
Yeah.
well. I've heard it's really fun.
I want to go to Aomori.
What about theme parks? Because
I've never been.
Huh? You've never been?
I'm not huge.
I mean,
into
you've still
theme
been
parks.
to Disneyland though, haven't
Yeah.
you?
I don't like Disney though. I'm the wrong person to ask.
Yeah, I don't like theme parks either. But USJ is pretty fun in Osaka.
I've been to USJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's decent.
You just said you've not been to any theme parks. And you've
I
literally
lied.
been
I lied.
to. You've literally been to like two
Although-
of the
yeah.
biggest
All
ones.
the biggest one, Fuji Q, I haven't been to, so I feel like my opinion doesn't count.
But like,
Yeah.
I mean, Fuji-Q is more like the Six Flags, right? It's the thrill seeking.
I like
theme
thrill
park.
rides, and I was kind of
Yeah.
disappointed by USJ. I thought there was gonna be more thrill rides. I don't know why I thought
I think
that.
you're better off in Fuji-Q.
Yeah, I figured like I'll probably like Fuji Q more.
Fuji-Q
Because I hate thrill rides, and
Kind of
I
a
went to
pain in the ass to
Fuji-Q and
get
I'm
to.
like, oh, if you love thrill rides, this is the
Yeah,
place.
Seems
you
like
can
a
go,
pain in
you
the
can
ass
go
to
to a
get to,
roller
though.
coaster and have a view of Fuji. How awesome is that,
Yeah.
right? Like that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Where's Thorpe Park with that? What does Thorpe Park have? What the fuck does Thorpe Park have? The car park? Huh? Like
Well, Thorpe Park's good. What the fuck are you on about?
it is good. It is good. It just like how can it like I think Fuji. I mean Fuji is just like one of the best.
Have you
views
been to
can
Fuji
have.
Q? Have you been to Fuji Q?
I've been outside it and I've like
Right, well, great.
I've driven
great.
past it.
Right, no shitting on Thorpe Park. Hold on, Garnt.
I'm not shitting on Thorpe Park, but I
I mean, we all drove past Fuji-Q when we went fucking camping.
No, I am.
did we?
Yeah.
I was fucking asleep. I didn't remember that. But like it was just a really nice aesthetic area. I don't know. I just like
It's good, but you know, I mean, come on, snow. It can't be no Thorpe Park.
no Nemesis Inferno. You're gonna
It's
say?
no Alton Towers, though, is it? It's about Alton Towers is so good. We gotta take you.
I
I
think
like
Thorpe-
theme parks though.
Yeah, he literally just
I
said he doesn't
literally
like
just
theme
said
parks.
I don't like thrill rides or theme parks.
I thought you were just joking.
No, I don't.
Why the fuck would you not like it?
USJ Nintendo Land is the only one I liked. But that's obvious because I'm a Nintendo sim.
Why don't you? What? Why?
I don't know. I'd rather go fucking to the arcade or watch a movie.
But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you guys want to mention?
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Japan's great.
Well, that's our like starter guide to having a fun time in Japan.
Yeah.
On
Starter
your next
guide.
vacation.
Obviously-
A starter guide 2-hour podcast.
Yeah, obviously we haven't all gone to every single location in Japan.
Yeah.
Like I eventually would like to go to every single prefecture in Japan. That's
Yeah.
like my life goal. But yeah, it's still a lot. I haven't been
Sucks
to.
because a lot of the stuff I love going to, just like it's just good food, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just go to a place
Honestly,
for food.
like we said earlier, a lot of the big draw of going traveling now is just trying the food in that prefecture, trying the food in that area because
Food.
fucking if there's like we said earlier, the food here is absolutely amazing, and that's
Yep.
the real. You know, you don't come here for the anime figures. You don't come here for like the fucking temples. You come here for the amazing food. That's the real reason to come to Japan. You know?
Katsuton.
Just go out there and just try a bunch
Try
of food.
everything.
Yeah.
Try everything.
You know,
Everything looks weird.
you know, people who come here for like the fucking sakura blossoms, you're gonna take a few pictures, and then you're gonna have the amazing food. Okay, that's it. That's it.
The sakura is only amazing to watch at because you're fucking sipping on some like super nice sake or eating some
Yeah,
really nice
yeah,
food.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah. Exactly,
That's what it's
exactly,
about. It all
exactly.
comes back to the food.
It all comes back to the food. Okay, I literally revolve my trips in Japan around like the restaurants and the food I could try there.
You have to. You have to. It makes,
of course.
It makes the trip.
It sounds like a joke, but it's really not. Like,
Yeah.
that's the highlight of my trip a lot of the time.
You know, if you go to Japan and this episode is somewhat helpful to you, please let us know
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
We'd love to.
Yeah.
Maybe not right now when this episode goes live, but maybe in a few months you might use it or years.
Hopefully.
And let us know if any of the tips are useful. We'd love to know what you liked and didn't like about this episode.
But you know
Yeah.
who especially loves Japan? Our
Oh.
patrons.
Oh, beautiful patrons.
They would all love Japan.
Of course they would.
Oh, they're so good. They're so
Because they definitely don't love anime.
They love the show, which means they love Japan.
They watch Trash Day, so they definitely don't watch it because of the
yeah.
anime.
But hey, if you'd like to support the show, then go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us some memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to go eat some food and then sleep.
Dude,
Yeah,
can
I-
we go to fucking Torikizuku?
I'm fucking starving.
Is
Can
there
we-
one nearby this office? Because
I want some good food.
I
man.
want some good food. Let's go do
All
it.
right. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.